We're back live in studio inside BJJ again. We really shoestrung it this time. Like we barely got it together. I realized at about 8 p.m. that we were gonna have somebody actually in the studio with us. Like, we better figure out how to get this set up. Welcome to Inside BJJ. I want to welcome the man to my right, Clay Haywood, a fellow black belt out in the Nashville, Tennessee area from Broken Anvil Jiu-Jitsu. A good friend and a twinsy, man. We're both rocking the Nashville Sounds.
You got me this hat.
I did. I did, man.
And you said come on the podcast, so it's all a bit loaded.
You have to. You absolutely have to. So it's great to have you, Clay, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be funny.
We've talked about doing it for a minute, and it's nice to finally get it in, man.
Yeah. That's
cool.
That's what she said, but also thank you.
Here we go.
Yeah, and we're off. Andrew, Omar, what's going on, guys?
Nothing. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of tired a little bit, but you
Good.
know.
You were mean to me tonight, so you deserve it.
Okay, this is how I was mean to him. He turned his back in a scramble,
Yeah.
and I said, "Hey, man, that was nice, but you got to stop turning your back." And he said, "I was doing a technical stand-up." I was.
So I
With
did.
your back
You're
turned.
nicer than I am. I wouldn't have said shit. I would have cross-faced him.
I was just watching.
Yeah.
I would have cross-faced him and looked at Nate and gone, did you get that on film?
So what he neglected to say is I did say that just like that, but I also mentioned that as I was trying to technical stand up, I realized I was being attacked again, and I grabbed an executioner grip and flipped it and got to side control. By the way, I think that merits some mention.
Sounds like a lie.
The end
What?
does not
That's
justify
on
the
film.
means.
And then we rolled, and you just kept slapping tits to get me away from you.
I did get behind you, though.
And I wanted to throw you so goddamn bad.
But did you throw
No,
me?
you didn't let me.
No. I was going by Gracie rules. If I survive, I win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure it is.
No.
Bullshit.
Not in the streets, it's not.
This isn't discreets. It's the mats.
It is when you and I are going. Yeah, so a lot of exciting things happening in the world of jiu-jitsu, but in wrestling, damn,
Yeah.
the wrestling's been impressive. I liked the judo. I watched most of the judo matches. My only complaint with judo was that the rule set is so restrictive now that it's almost Greco.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
You can't follow up on a fall. It's-
the belly down,
Yeah.
waiting for and then half the guys are like trying to like kind of pretend they're trying. Some people do get legitimate submissions, but not many.
I saw it
What's the
seemed like it was
seconds?
pretty rare.
Yeah, what's the seconds when they hit the mat?
It's not long. I don't know what it is. It's not long. And then they also try to bait their opponents into stalling calls.
Yeah.
Which is, it's like, dude, this is the Olympics, man. We're trying to see the best.
Yeah.
You know, the rule set
That's why
should
the
be
gee's
opened
dead.
up. Dude. They just, every time another grappling discipline starts to encroach, they just make the rules more specific.
Yeah, and I think the governing body behind it isn't exactly a martial arts body.
It's probably not.
I think it's, so like, for instance, like skateboarding falls under gymnastics. I'm not sure if you knew that.
I did not know that.
It's wild, bro.
That's weird.
Tony Hawk talked all about it, but like I don't think judo falls under, like, so for instance, if jiu-jitsu were to be in the Olympics, IBJJF most likely would be, but it wouldn't be. It'd be another governing body that's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Oh, they would roll up under
You got
some other thing.
you got it. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I don't think gi jiu-jitsu gets into the Olympics with judo already there. It's a little too similar. They would have to really change gi jiu-jitsu to not look like judo at all. And I don't think it would be that great.
But there's like 4 different types of fencing. So,
yeah.
you know, it's like,
That's true.
Good point.
Sword fighting.
yeah.
I do have a certain appreciation for the exotic sports that are just like, how do you get in?
The horses.
Yeah.
You're
That
from,
looks scary.
you're from fucking Argentina and you put your horse on a plane
Yeah.
Wow.
to
No shit.
France. And that thing's shit the
Do they-
entire time.
Do they fly them?
So do you actually want to know a fun fact? I don't know if it's true, but I saw it on the internet, so it's probably true. Apparently, the giant cargo plane that flies all the horses is called Air Horse One.
I thought they swam.
That's stupid.
I'm
a
kidding.
long swim.
Obviously, duh.
But think about that. Like when I was watching
That's wild.
some questions, like highlights, and I'm like, wait, it traveled from wherever the hell you are.
Yeah.
The Philippines.
I wonder if they sedate them.
They got to.
They got to.
They got it. I'll steal the I'll steal this and they can give it to me, dude.
You're down there.
Ketamine is so fucking good.
You're going to do a K-hole.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
It'll
I
feel
mean,
like
you can't. Oh, sorry. What was
I was
it?
gonna say it feels like you get there in 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, when your goal depends on some horse that has been sedated for the
what?
last 12 hours, like,
It's not a go-kart. You can't like borrow one at
Yeah.
a place.
And
yeah.
they drug test those horses.
No.
That's sad.
Oh, yes, they do.
Do they?
Yes, you can't give those horses performance enhanced. There's certain things you can't give them.
Holy shit.
You can't give your horse like the Ronnie Coleman routine.
No.
Handball, D-ball,
Uh-uh.
basic stuff.
No, dude, he's not on the Balco lab. The cream and the clear.
I would love to see a
Fucking
horse.
A.
A horse.
Can you imagine rubbing DHT cream on your horse's hog?
Just like
Can
Just
I?
like-
the skin's really thin here.
Yeah.
It's very membranous.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, judo.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't want jiu-jitsu in the Olympics anymore.
I don't either.
Nah.
It's
Not yet.
good enough. Let it go, man. Let it do its thing.
Not
Let's-
yet.
Let's not like get sidetracked with trying to win a medal every 4 years.
Yeah, and I think we already the biggest tournaments are already
Already-
what was it? ADCC's 2 years apart.
Yeah,
That's too well.
that's just about right.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Especially
it
for
kind
something
of
so physical.
it's actually kind of interesting in a way because it allows the rest of the ecosystem to develop in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
If ADCC was smarter, they probably would have started doing it every year, maybe like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It just dominated as like we're the Super Bowl.
I've had a thought, like a heavy thought. What if you, kind of like the WWE or anything else, or like UFC, could lose your belt before you went back, and that belt exchanged hands? Then there's a championship for it. You know what I mean? And it sounds
Yeah.
stupid when you
Oh,
lay it
I
out
see.
there like that. But like if there was like a perennial ADCC or some other,
Yeah.
and then there's an opportunity to lose. So this is an ADC sanctioned event.
Yeah. So they have that concept in wrestling also across organizations. I think they call it the linear belt or something like that. And they'll show how like this guy beat that guy, then that guy left and went to the NWA, and then he lost to this guy,
Right.
and they just trace the.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I don't know how many. All the flow promotions would be on board with each other, probably. But then the rest of the
Yeah.
world would be like not.
I think once Fight Pass Invitational gets more momentum, they'll
Yeah.
start.
That'd be cool.
I think they're going to get more momentum.
Maybe if you get like FPI, CJI, and PGF.
PGF.
You get all of them to kind of work together in terms of like a champion. That would be cool.
Oh, yeah, like a linear champion?
Yeah, that'd be
would be
dope.
like boxing, dude. You got a guy
Yeah.
that goes up and he's got like 6 belts and then
Yeah,
actually have
dog.
weight to him. EBI as well, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
EBI
gangster.
too.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is like EBI doesn't get talked about as much, but it's still there. It's still banging, dude. They're still having good shows.
Yeah. I mean, it started it all.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember.
I think Metamoris really is the one.
Metamoris was, but I also think that Eddie figured out stage show
I think
with
you're
an
right.
interactive crowd.
Yes.
And then here's the one thing I like about EBI. You see the 2 guys waiting in the wings.
yeah.
Yeah.
On the
cool.
side stage, sitting there,
Kinda.
eyeing, especially that absolute, like the absolute ones.
Yeah.
Man, oh,
Those are the best.
it's just the best. And
Some dudes sit down. I love
Yeah.
the pre-fight posturing.
yes,
Yeah.
Some guys are just like looking at their nails.
Yeah.
They can't be. But other dudes are like fucking.
yeah.
Stomping the ground.
Or some guys wear a hoodie, some guys are straight down to the rashy, some guys are
Yeah.
skins, and it's like you see this
Yeah.
thing. I don't know. I just remember when like EBI won, I was like, oh, this is the format.
Yeah.
This is what I like.
Do you know who had the best pre-show? Like sitting in there trying to get in somebody's head? Fedor Emelianenko.
What
He
would
played
do?
chess.
Oh, geez.
Oh, powerful.
So he would on UFC, or I guess not UFC, but Pride
Yeah.
or whatever he was on. Every time it would show him backstage, like when people are shadow boxing, warming up, that kind of thing. He's just sitting there playing chess with himself,
Just
and then
moving,
he'd go out and just kill people.
Yeah.
moving knight to E4. And
I just like. I wonder if you
so
could
sick.
you could be in the octagon while they're like. That there's like this moment after they announce both of you where they give the TV guys a chance to go like do their little thing, and
Yeah.
then there's like a lot of posturing. What if you were just on your speakerphone talking to somebody? Okay.
Tell the
Yeah,
camera
no,
guy
I
to
want
wait
the
a
green
minute.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. 30. Okay, 30. Okay, yeah, I want 30. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I gotta go. I'll call you when the round's over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not illegal to talk on the phone, right?
You don't know. I mean,
I wonder what the rules are. Like, can your cornermen get on the phone? I bet they can.
You see some guys, you know, with the social media live stream, which I've never understood that. It's like going to a wedding and bring a phone and take pictures. Like, they're going to have a professional photographer there anyway. Like, all the greatest pictures are already going to be taken. What are you doing with your janky Android phone?
I think our appetite for content is so jaded that we want the shaky camera more than we like the professional photographer almost.
Maybe.
I mean, for the couple, they want the photo, you know.
Maybe.
But like for your drunk ass uncle, he likes the video that your aunt took. You know, it's like, I don't know. But I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, like Hollywood studios put a bunch of money into just making like somebody's following you around with a camera, you know?
Yeah,
it's all moving and shit.
Which is wild, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So that would be a cool idea if they would do that with the belt.
Well,
I would like that.
Yeah, and I mean, think about that. Like, if Gordon Ryan says he's as good as he is, collect the belts, put them on tour, bring them out every time, all the belts.
Yeah.
But you have to currently be reigning.
You have to be defending them.
And that's, like, I want that.
Yeah.
Like when Tyson
get a
Fury.
belt carrier?
Oh,
you
yeah.
have so many belts?
Yeah, the entourage.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There's only, I mean, but the problem is you have that personality. And that's what jiu-jitsu lacks. Everyone's a mutant.
Yeah.
That's so
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like two kinds of guys. There's the guys that are like super quiet and they just don't say anything.
Right.
And then there's the opposite. There's hardly anybody who can kind of like
even keel.
play the game, you know.
Dude, this is why managers exist in WWE.
Yeah.
For like the Taker
A valet.
couldn't talk. Exactly.
Need a valet, man.
Yeah. Some guys need a manager.
Yeah.
And what you do, like for, no offense to like some of these teams that are a bit, heady and nerdy, get a good manager.
I know. I
and
agree.
they're your voice box. You don't say shit. No one wants to hear you anyway. You're probably cross-eyed.
Yeah. Right.
And get a manager. Dude, I'll do it.
That would be
Oh,
great.
man.
You're not the coach either. You're the manager.
Absolutely not. It's better if they don't know jiu-jitsu too.
So great.
like anything.
That would be fantastic.
Anybody in a professional position that is talking confidently about something I know they don't know shit about is the best.
It's my favorite person.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Better call Saul.
Paul Heyman can't wrestle. Best manager on the planet.
Oh yeah, Jim Cornette.
Oh my God. And just sells.
I watched it. If you're old enough, you'll remember Starrcade, which was like NWA's answer to WrestleMania, more or less. Okay, they used to do scaffold matches where they would put these scaffolds up and they would fight on top of the
I
scaffold.
remember those though. Yeah.
Okay, so the Road Warriors did one against, maybe it was the Midnight Express.
Okay.
And if you hear like Hawk talk about it now, they were scared to death.
Oh, really?
And Jim Cornette talks about they were like, that scaffold was not sturdy.
We're all going to
It
die.
was not safe.
No.
And when you watch it, you could see they're kind of like, well, Jim Cornette is part of the script, has to take a fall off the scaffold.
Holy shit.
Okay. And the idea is that Hawk is going to be down there and he's going to catch him to help break the fall. Hawk misses his cue.
Oh no.
The way they drop is they drape their body over the side, and then they hang and get as close to the ground as they can, and then they drop. Cornette's got like dress shoes on. So when his heels hit the ground, they go right out from under him. He breaks his tailbone, gets fucked up. Hawk rolls over there like, oh, man, you okay? Like, are you all right?
Yeah.
He's like, hell no, I'm not okay.
Negative.
Still, he said it's still jacked up to this day from that.
No
that
shit.
fall.
His tailbone.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But that's what a good manager will do.
100%. And it's a transition too, because so like PGF, I think if we can convince Brandon to do this,
Yeah.
the coaches should be like, listen, what are you adding to an athlete in 4 days, 2 days? Not a lot. Confidence, maybe. Pep talk.
Only
yeah.
I think it's mostly psychological.
Yeah, motivation,
Yeah.
a little bit of motivation. But if they can just gas you up and get on the mic, like, listen, if you got a mutant or
Yeah.
somebody like that, just somebody to gas the crowd up, sell the person who's probably phenomenal. They could be very talented.
Yeah.
I feel like the ex-Marshall crew did a good job at that. They showed up every day. They had these crazy flashy outfits on. They had this bougie little dog that was on the couch, and they just
great.
their fighters were all pumped up and they were hyping them up. But not everybody was like that.
No, you don't want to call anybody out, but
No.
at the same time, it's like this is entertainment, sports entertainment.
It's TV.
Yeah, and
show.
And to bring eyes to something, I mean, which we'll talk about, but that's why CGI is dominating. I think the news stream in jiu-jitsu because Craig is undeniable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're not going to get a lot of those guys. You desperately need personality. If you don't have personality, submit to the idea of a manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find, dude. We'll go down to Broadway.
Man.
And we'll source managers for you. We'll source managers.
Dude.
I'll source them every weekend. I'm already down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think we're going to, and we're probably already there because I know some folks are doing it. I do agree, but also have professional, like behind the scenes managers for these guys. Real managers.
Real ones. Oh, okay.
Because these guys they're not all of them are super like with it.
Yeah.
And some of them don't have anybody really looking out for their best interest.
Right.
And they make a run at it, and maybe for 7 or 8 years they get some fights, but if you don't have somebody who can help you and kind of guide you.
The problem on the profit side is so nefarious, though. Like these guys aren't very smart.
No.
They don't have money. They probably have day jobs or not, and they're suffering. Taking 10% of what? It's got to be from the heart. It's got to be somebody who's doing it for the love
pro
of it.
bono.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think you're right, but I also think that if somebody was enterprising enough and they viewed it as an investment in the future of the sport, there's potential to build a real powerhouse management firm that could actually be ready and functioning in place like when serious money comes. I think serious money's coming.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to stop. I think that influx is only catching
It's just
more
getting bigger
eyeballs.
and bigger.
It's just getting bigger and bigger. And these investors that have money, everybody wants live sports because live sports, live events are what get the advertisement eyeballs.
Right.
That's what people want. There's a reason Joe Rogan did a live Netflix special.
Right.
There's a reason Netflix paid $1 billion for the rights to WWE.
Right.
They want live sports. All the live sports right now today is distributed across all the platforms.
Yeah. One is on Prime.
One's on Prime.
Yeah.
The Olympics are on Peacock. Now, some of that's broadcast on NBC.
Yeah, sure.
But if you want to watch the UFC, you gotta have ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Like ESPN's contract's coming up.
You got football games on Paramount. You got football games on Hulu. You got basketball games on TNT. So it's all. Everybody wants it used to be live sports was on CBS, NBC, ABC.
Yeah.
That's it.
The big ones.
I think we're closer to seeing broadcasted jiu-jitsu on a major channel than we are seeing like management and structure. I think we'll see
so?
that 100%. I think probably straight up by next year. Late next year, something will crack.
You think a major over the air network?
100%.
Interesting.
100%. But it'll be like a Prime. It'll be, I mean, if you want to be technical, it already is, right?
Yeah.
But from like a PGF would be perfect, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit. And then it's a season. That's the other thing too, is like, what's the offering? One event, who's going to tune in? A season that I know that every Friday, Thursday, or whatever the hell it is, at this time, clocked in over a certain amount of time.
That's cool. And you could follow these guys.
And then, I'm probably the same at your school as my school. Like, hey, we got to cut class. There's a WNO on or whatever,
Yeah.
We're like, we would all cut a little bit of class.
Yeah.
I mean, with combat sports too, like, why have a season? It's not like football or baseball, like where you have to be restricted to a season. If you have enough fighters or people in the tournament, you could
just keep it going.
Run. I mean, look at UFC.
Well, I think the PGF is going to try to get to a point where they're doing seasons, but they do multiple seasons in a year. And each season
Like 4.
Each season is a weight class, more
I
or
see.
less.
Yeah, like every
Quarterly.
quarter.
Quarter would be good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. That'd
Yeah.
be that'd be great.
sick.
It'd be so sick though if it was like on Paramount fucking Plus, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
It would end up being on BMAC Plus.
It would probably
Knowing Brandon.
it'd probably end up finding a home on Fight Pass, I would think.
There's that too, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's probably
Fight pass.
the move.
Yeah.
right.
A great move for the UFC too.
It'd be cool, and if they had some kind of guarantee at the end of it for the Fight Pass Invitational, where like if that's the cream of the crop and PGF sits like maybe a layer below it, that seeds into
Yeah.
it. There has to be a commitment from UFC on Fight Pass Invitational, though. I want 12 events a year from them.
Yeah.
One a month is not a lot to ask.
Yeah. The production value is really great.
But they should adopt the pit, I think. That stage scares the shit out of me.
I'm not sold on the pit yet. I want to see how CGI plays out.
Yeah.
I really do.
You know it's bigger than Karate Combat, though, right? Way
It's
bigger.
way bigger surface.
Yeah, way bigger.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that's going to be more palatable. Because when we were at the Karate Combat,
The pit's pretty
you're
close.
like, I think that's striking. They want to box them in.
They
not-
want
They want action. I think a bigger pit
that makes
would
sense.
be more palatable to a viewer.
Yeah, because then there's less likelihood they're going to run off the mat. And when
Right.
they do, it's more exciting.
Yeah.
Are you saying that CGI has a bigger pit than?
Yeah, I think it's 20 by 30.
Oh wow.
That's good size.
It's fucking huge, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 40 maybe. It's we might be able to look it up, but it's huge. It's real big.
What do you think about the rounds, scoring the rounds and having a break?
Yeah.
I get what Craig's doing. I don't like it. Just a heads up. Like I think it should be 12 minutes straight
Yeah.
and just
I do too.
Yeah.
I think rounds are odd, but
yeah, but I get it from an audience spectator standpoint. If there was commitment from Craig and Seth and all of them to do 6 events and then we're going to get buy-in from MMA people and stuff, it's one event. So just do 12 minutes. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Plus that day is going to be a long ass day.
Yeah, and maybe if you do rounds, you just treat them. You treat the scoreboard as a normal scoreboard, like
You know, it's
in
open
wrestling.
scoring. It's open scoring.
Yeah, well, that's interesting.
That's super interesting because imagine, okay,
Yeah,
imagine Andy Valera. He's down 2 rounds. What the hell do you think he's going to do in the third?
he's gonna go off.
He's going to pull a knife out.
Yeah,
It's going to be sick. I can't fucking wait.
How do you get that in there?
Yeah, he's going to go crazy.
have you looked at the brackets?
I if I'm just sitting there on the toilet or anywhere, I'm looking at the brackets. It's the
Clayton
Ream.
Ream. I think it's Ream. Is it Ream?
yeah,
or
it's
Reamer?
Ream. What do you say?
He said, let me throw. He put powerful, which of course,
That's what we say.
and then he said needs to be like the Ultimate Fighter winner, get a 3-fight contract on UFC Invitational.
Yeah, he's been saying that.
That'd be cool.
He's saying that because he's doing the next PGF.
Listen,
He's a stud.
I wouldn't bet against BMAC becoming the premier organization,
Yeah,
bigger than Fight Pass Invitational potentially.
yeah,
We'll see.
yeah.
We'll see if the format can catch on. That's because
Here's
it's a
the
sport.
I think that there's too many distractions and there's not enough talking between all these organizations like AIGA. Holy cow.
Yeah.
What an incredible feat. And it's in Kazakhstan.
Yeah,
What? I mean, I get it. It's money. Follow the money. Go do what you got to do.
yeah.
But why?
Right.
Why? And it's like, you're going to fly. I get it. The money runs it. But can we just brand it something different? Can I pronounce it?
Yeah.
It's like, bring it over here. I don't know.
What is AIGA?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a grappling promotion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've got the brackets on screen.
Oh, sweet. Probably gonna be.
Less than 80 kilos, we got Ty and Cade Rotolo, Nikki Ryan, Joseph Chen, Tommy Lilskog, Andy Varela,
Tommy
Jason Nolf,
Linglacker. It's fine.
Levi Jones-Leary, Angan O'Flanagan.
That's a Levi Jones Leary. That's a dark horse in that entire bracket.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
he-
think he's got a good chance.
He beat Chen.
Do you?
Oh,
Yeah. I think it was it a Polaris or it was it's one of the Brit ones.
I'm not as familiar
He
with
teched.
those.
I mean, he got points, but he took his back.
damn.
He's an interesting cat. He travels a lot. I think he's Australian, but he's in the UK most of the time. He is slick Rick Berimbolo.
27 years old.
Yeah, that's
out
awesome.
of Absolute MMA.
Yeah. So he's a Lachlan Giles guy.
Yeah.
Definitely. Who's he going up against in the first round? Oh, let's see. This is not bracketed. I think the matches go. I think it's Nolf,
If you pull up, it's Nolf and Ty, right?
Nolf and Ty.
Pull up the IG. They have the brackets all out.
Let me see here. or if you Google it, it pops up one of the first things. Yeah, it's Ty and well, there we go. Live on Instagram.
There we go.
You guys can see that or not?
Kinda. It's Ty versus Nolf.
Which is a bummer, but just to be honest, because it's like I want to see Nolf work.
Yeah.
And he's gonna get guillotined. No, I mean it's I don't know what to say.
Rutello team.
Like I love Nolf.
Is that any better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got Roberto Jimenez versus Levi Jones-Leary, which is going to be fireworks.
Fire.
That's going to be.
And then how was Roberto Jimenez not top 4 seeds? I mean, between him, Nicky Ryan, and Andrew Tackett,
yeah,
they gave it to. I mean, the fans gave it to Nicky, which God bless him, but
yeah,
Roberto Jimenez went against Nicky Ryan and put up a great offense.
And Jimenez has had some wars against Ty and Cade.
Bro, he's psycho.
So there's a chance that they meet up again before just in the semifinals.
100%.
And then you got on the bottom half of the bracket, you got Kenta and Lucas Barboza, and Kenta's no joke.
He's no joke. So he won Oceanic trials.
Yes.
And he's consummate at B team. He's won trials 3 times.
And he's very well rounded too. He's,
Wrestler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also judo.
Judo.
Right? He's good at judo.
Yeah. But here's the thing about this is difficult to say because like brackets are brackets. There's gonna be an upset.
Yeah.
I keep talking about this. If you play the numbers, there's gonna be an upset. Who the fuck is it gonna be? And I'm dying to know which one is gonna go south. Like, is it like what happens if Nolf takes out Ty?
Yeah.
It might not happen. I mean, what happens?
What do you think about Canuto and Langaker? Because I think Langaker can. He could upset Canuto.
Well, if you watch the PGF, which was Canuto's like tour de force, like he did such a good job, but he did get leg locked by Barch, right?
Yeah, he did, but then he came back at FPI and hit a freaking great leg
he countered.
lock.
Yeah,
he did.
That was beautiful.
I think Canuto has like a breath of fresh air with especially the Nogi.
Older
grapple.
cat too,
Not that old though,
dude. He's been around forever, right?
He's been around since 20. I met him in Utah in 2016.
Yeah,
but I think he might be 30. I
Really?
don't think he's much older than that.
okay.
He's dynamic, man.
It's tough too, and then you got to think, okay,
Tackett and Ryan,
buddy.
Jesus,
buddy.
that's gonna be. I think Tackett might beat Nicky Ryan.
Oh, I think he schools him.
I think he's gonna put the heat on him, and
Dorian beat Nicky Ryan in a tournament format. Obviously, they had matches that day and day before. Very difficult. Tackett coming out fresh on your ass. The Tackett Barch match in WNO.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah.
If that Tackett shows up, he takes out. It'll be him and a Rotolo.
Tackett beat Varela for the trials, man.
Yeah.
And Varela was on a run.
Yeah, and I say that, but I say the same thing about William. The power of Jesus or whatever the hell they believe in. It's. I mean, they are on something right now today that some of my favorite jiu-jitsu I've ever seen. It's like this wrestle.
They're doing clean jiu-jitsu at the speed of wrestling.
Oh,
That's a good way to put it.
That's the only way I could describe it, because sometimes you see guys do jiu-jitsu at that speed and it's sloppy,
Right.
And it's all over the place,
Right.
Like when Cade and Ty do it, it's different. It looks wild, but it's like their fucking.
It's their
thing.
jiu-jitsu.
It's their.
But
thing.
imagine grappling yourself all the time.
Right.
Rad.
Right.
I was just thinking that, man.
Yeah.
The twin of yourself to just go at it.
Those guys, look at the Mendez brothers. Those are always the best.
Exactly.
When you got just
The Diaz brothers.
a dude that's just like basically you.
Yeah. I think Tackett's going to take the heat to Nicky Ryan. I mean, he can always look what he did to JT Torres.
Yeah,
so.
and Nicky Ryan is young. He's getting better. He was injured for a while. He looked good at WNO. He
coming off a great sub.
beat JT Torres. Like, that's no joke. JT Torres knows how to win. So, that's going to be a good match, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Would you guys call it an upset if Chen beats Varela?
No,
just beat Varela.
No, he just beat him.
WNO.
I think Chen's the best, the one who could beat Ty or Cade because of what he did at 1. They couldn't pass his guard.
Yeah.
They could not pass his guard. Yeah. And there was it was ropes or was it a fence in that match? Regardless, Now we have a slanted wall. It's going to err in the favor of Chen.
Yeah.
It's I
Well,
think I don't
I don't know though. Ty and Kate are so dynamic.
they
man.
are. But I think Chen has the sauce, man. I think he's just. I mean,
He's so technical.
Is he 19?
I want to say so. Yeah,
He's
19,
kind of
20.
where I feel like the Rotolo brothers are bona fide, like elite level. Everybody agrees. And I feel like Chin is where they were like 5 years ago when we're like, man, these guys are good. Like, are they that good? Are they the real
Right.
deal? I think Chin's the real deal.
Yeah.
I think he's the real deal.
Yeah.
Big time.
He's Joseph with a Z
Yeah.
and an F.
I don't know, man. Can you
Joseph.
stand up to that like aggressivity of Varela though? Like, God, the
Yeah.
man's an animal.
I
good
think Varela's game. I don't know
if it is
I
one.
won't be surprised if Varela wins
Me neither.
at all. Varela's gonna come out
Yeah.
Like a
hard,
dog, dude.
He wants
Like a
that
dog.
money, dude.
Yeah.
Especially
he
if he's got
does.
the knife.
Yeah, exactly. I think the other thing too is so, and this is something I always think about when we look at like a UFC championship fight. If we look at a boxing fight, somebody who used to fight in front of 10,000 people increases to 20,000 people, or 100 people to 5,000 people. Do you think anybody outside of maybe the top four have seen those lights, those cameras, those everything? That moment might shell shock someone's game
That's a
great
into
point.
non-existence, and they're
Yeah.
gonna shit the they're gonna shit the bed.
Gonna shit the
pressure.
bed. That is so true.
Yeah, and so I mean, you a gangster like Andy Valera comes out, and then maybe the moment can quell you sometimes, but maybe not. Maybe he shines, and maybe Chen goes down. You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
That's what's so exciting about that day is the crowd will be on fire. It'll be absolutely nuts, and some people will change in the moment.
Yeah, I think what CJI has going for him is the story has not been told yet, and all these. It's like WrestleMania's coming, and we're gonna tie up all these storylines, and we're gonna know. We've seen ADCC, and I mean ADCC's not bad. There's some good talent, especially the
Minus 66 is
the
insane.
minus 66 is
Is
the
insane.
best in the world.
Yeah.
That literally is the best.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. It's just we know what ADCC is.
Yeah.
And it's great. Like it's not I know it's easy to take a shot at them because it's so easy right now.
Right now it is.
But they've still, if it wasn't for CJI, we'd be talking about ADCC right now.
Well, look at like
Right,
Mika's.
right.
Did you see Mika's comments? Like Mika was talking about.
No, I didn't see him.
Yeah, and he was bummed that what's his name's not there, Cade, or is it? I don't know.
Oh, he's happy he's not there.
No, he's bummed
Oh, he's
because
bummed.
he wanted
He's
his
bummed.
redemption arc.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the other thing too. Is like now everything's not lineal in some of those divisions,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a bit watered down.
Yeah, and now the athletes, because there's money and because there's the athletes want it. They and they don't want it from ADCC. They want to beat particular people.
That's it.
And when that comes into play, now they're going to start thinking opportunity costs.
Right.
What do I lose by doing this versus doing that?
100%.
And now the game changes.
Yeah, and I think there's also an air like you guys have a fun school. Like I love 10th Planet Nashville. I think we have a fun school too.
Absolutely.
I think fun is CJI.
Yeah.
Prestige is
a lot of fun.
ADCC.
ADCC. Yeah.
So like I've been to a lot of sterile gyms, and
Yeah.
and you, we were talking about it earlier, turnaround tire belt kind of thing.
Yeah.
and shit, that's ADCC, right? The brand has which is great, and it's
Yeah.
prestige. And 3 months ago, before CJI ever existed, your boy was ADCC locked in.
We all got tickets to go.
bro, but then I saw something fun, and the promotion, bro. Jesus Christ on the cross.
Top
The
notch.
the Gabby Hanach sit down. Oh my God, Caraño.
Got on.
I just
Fuck you to death.
Dude, when he smells that, I fucking.
so
oh
funny.
my God, you can't. Dude, you've been doing jiu-jitsu so long, just like me. Like, it's here. Next week
Yeah.
is Christmas.
I know, man.
And New Year's.
I was saying, I wish I would have done an advent calendar.
Oh.
Like a 30-day countdown.
Yeah.
And just have the athletes and
Yeah.
pulling back.
I've been edgy. I've been edgy. That's what I've been doing.
You're like,
Yeah.
Pop open
Dude,
each
but
day
it's-
as a new sub on a white belt.
yeah.
Can you imagine though, like, all the eyes and dude, I have people that don't know anything kind of asking more or less about it, hearing
Yeah.
some kind of buzz. Like,
It's
this is a
getting legs.
very unique time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely is. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what the follow-up is.
Right.
because now the interest is going to be here, and it's like who's ready to put their net out and capture some of that interest.
Yeah.
Maybe sponsors, real sponsors.
Yeah,
Could you imagine like a Rotolo with a Nike logo on their shorts?
That'd be
right,
nuts.
right.
I mean, they should. They should.
I know.
Be nuts.
They're going.
They're
to.
perfect.
I just think that these corporations don't have eyeballs on it yet because
No.
they're just behind the curve a little bit. Especially if you get in now, you can
Right.
lock one of those guys up.
For a while for cheap.
I mean, Ruka's got
Comparatively,
them.
yeah.
To be honest, Ruka
Yeah.
has stuff, but Ruka kind of like sells fight equipment or
Yeah.
gear and some.
He's a passion project guy. Is what's his name? PM Timor?
a Pat Tenora or
Pat
something
Tenor,
like that.
something like that. He's like a passion. Like if he's into it,
Yeah,
he does it.
right.
But it's not like a like Adidas. Imagine Adidas just
Right.
like throwing like a suit on somebody, or like a Nicky Rod. Like he's a beautiful man. He's gigantic.
Yeah.
Beautiful man. Throw something behind
What
him.
if it was like?
Lubriderm.
What if it was like
Lubricant.
a great amount of money, but it was just a cheese ball brand,
Oh,
like a Walmart?
Sign me
tennis
up.
shoe.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
You got
Payless
great value
shoe
on your
source.
Rashi.
yeah.
Yeah, that family has 7 of the top richest people. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Throw it behind.
I mean, I think that's when you'll get managers, right? Once you get like big corporations like
But
sponsoring you.
I don't think we're that far from it.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't
I,
think we're
I don't
that
think
far.
we're that far from.
Dude,
like,
is it a chicken and the egg scenario though? Does sponsorships management come first, like all that stuff, and then broadcast? But I think broadcast
I think
comes
broadcast
first.
comes first.
Yeah, me too.
I think
Yeah.
the managers follow the money. So
Sure.
when the money starts coming in, then all the nefarious individuals who hang around the fight game,
Right.
and they hang around the entertainment industry, anything that has to do with like art and entertainment, there's like a nefarious crowd that
There
comes
is.
around it.
There is.
Sharks come first.
Yeah, they do, and they're a lot of them are criminally affiliated. It's
Yeah.
not a good.
They gotta-
people. They get
and-
their hooks in.
This is not a knock on PGF or Fight Pass or anything like that, but they got to let the guys wear their own solo sponsors on the mat. That will change the game for them too. Even if it's, Greg's mechanic shop.
Right.
But that guy might have gave him $2,000.
Yeah.
That's
Paid
a
for
big
his
deal
flight
to
to get
Greg.
there.
It's a big deal to whomever.
Yeah.
Do you remember Condom Depot on
Yeah.
every single MMA fighter's shorts?
That was one of their first.
Come on. I mean, and that's one of those things where I go back and I look at that era, and it's like those guys were cashing checks, boy. And it's
Yeah.
and I think we kind of gotta, maybe it's not to that level where it was like just
Yeah.
ridiculous, but we got to allow the athletes, like, hey, we can't have some sterile organization where you have to wear this. So we maybe allow a little bit of flexibility.
I know, but man, no other organizations allow you to do it. Though.
No.
At the
No.
high levels, they.
Well, I mean, basketball kind of. I mean, with basketball shoes, but not like your
Yeah.
You
not
could
like
have
your
your
jersey.
Maybe
That's
there's
like
like
in-
something they could give them, like you could wear your own shorts, but you can't have your own.
There you go. Yeah.
Gotta wear our
Shorts
Yeah, it's
and
gotta be our
top,
rash,
or
yeah.
top and short. It's an amalgamation of one to the other.
I'll
Yeah.
bet you the shoe sponsors have to have some approval from the NBA.
Color.
UFC is all Venom
probably.
now, right?
It's all Venom, but no. So they have special approved monster fighters. You'll see
Okay.
the monster patch
Okay.
here,
Okay.
and then they have one more that I'm missing, and you'll see the patch on the other side, like Volk sponsor. Oh, Prime.
Prime. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right, that's
So like they get away with like a little patch here and there, but it's very few fighters, mainly champions,
'Cause otherwise Venom,
studs.
though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like once that switch was made, it was
They
like
used to. Now here's an interesting thing. They used to have an approved sponsors list and used to be able to pay like $50,000. So if you and I just had a bullshit brand, we could,
Get on there.
and yeah, they did away with that because of a lot of people were doing weird stuff,
Oh.
and yeah, like doing what we would do
Yeah.
to prank UFC, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
super condom depot.
Yeah, exactly.
Condom
So,
Depot too.
Yeah.
yeah, I think the money coming into jiu-jitsu. I mean, the other thing too is you gotta. I think what Craig's doing with the rounds, it makes sense. You gotta get How many people do MMA and watch MMA? The ratio is like 5% to 95%. So if we look at jiu-jitsu, it's like 98%
We
people.
all do
we all
jujitsu,
do
I
it,
know.
which I'm so excited about, to be in that arena
Yeah.
and to be around other jiu-jitsu practitioners.
Sure.
It's gonna be like, first day
Yeah.
of school kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
It's a dangerous building.
it's also, we need to get to a point where most of the crowd and most of the people watching aren't practitioners. And how do you do that? Well,
Yeah.
maybe it is the rounds.
Yeah.
Well, what else could it be? I mean, how else do you make it exciting?
I think the Gabby Garcia Craig Jones fight is geared to try to get into the mainstream media
For sure.
about a man fighting a woman in a grappling match.
Yeah, the battle of the sexes.
Yeah.
He's definitely pulling, I feel like, a lot of sort of, I'm forgetting the word for it, but a lot of looking back on the old Pride freak fights. Just doing wild shit, you know,
Yeah.
and making that one of the main events.
Hongman Choi versus Minowa Man.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's a genius. I mean, he's also this up for years.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I think ultimately, you know, we're going to get a lot of questions answered, and it's going to be good unless they totally lay an egg and there's some major production issue, which I don't think there's going to be. You know, the people that are doing this behind the scenes are all very experienced. This is not their first rodeo. They've broadcast, you know, worked for the UFC, worked for Karate Combat. It's professional.
is that the crew he got?
I'm pretty sure it's like a mixture of that.
Okay.
So they're going to do a good job. It's
Yeah.
just with a new format and a new scoring system and all these eyeballs and a personal vendetta and so much writing on it, you really don't want to lay an egg.
You don't.
You really want to go out there. You can't have any controversy in the matches where
No.
there's $1 million winner. It has to be clear cut. It can't be any bullshit.
Right.
It's got to be pretty square. It could be close.
They said that's 5 rounds, though. You saw the finals 5
Yeah.
rounds. Oy.
Yeah. That's a lot.
25 minutes with the break. Do you guys think the breaks make it worse? That's a question.
I think so.
No.
No?
I
You don't think so?
No.
Man, I don't know.
I
No,
don't know.
because it's, I mean, look, I know it's not the same thing. This is a very simplified comparison, but, you know, when we're doing open mat, we're getting a minute break, swapping partners every 5 minutes or
Yeah.
so, and it's,
10 around
that,
Tuesday.
that minute is, it's well received. It feels good.
Well,
you know?
what if you at 450 end in mount and you have 2 underhooks and you can
Yeah.
breathe
Yeah.
and then you have to relinquish that to be on the feet?
So
And
to
you're
be
a
you, nerd.
shit wrestler.
Finish the show.
That's,
Yeah.
so
It's interesting, though. That presents a really interesting problem.
that's what I dislike about it, though.
Yeah, a
The
little bit me
rounds.
too.
Is like, yeah, then it can disrupt the. Are they going to restart you in that position?
No.
No.
So then, yeah, it's kind of like,
And you know about the grips, right, to pull guard?
what are the grips?
You have to have a grip.
Okay, that's like IBJJF.
Yeah,
you got
sure.
a connection.
But, you know, are you going to be able to grab Nolf? I don't know. Go strip grips and rock your world, maybe.
I'm a little
Ooh,
biased.
what about that? Who's that plus 80 guy, the gigantic wrestler?
Oh.
I'm terrible.
Real quick, Lauren McAdams says, shout out Grappling Gateways.
Getaways.
Sorry. Grappling Getaways.
Yeah.
Shout them out. Hey, what is that?
It's namely all female. It's I think I'll plug it. They're doing a big one for Halloween in New York, I believe.
Oh, cool.
She'll confirm. She'll probably comment again.
Nice.
But yeah, she's a big participant. I think she just did a seminar up in, I think it was Indiana. She's gonna yell at me if I'm wrong, but
That's
yeah.
all right.
Well, good for her. One way or
yeah,
another.
they do
That's
them all
awesome.
over the place. They're great. They're really great.
You can just look it up on Google, Grappling Getaways. And if you need extra help, put it in Chat GPT.
Yeah. Are you talking about Hugo? Victor Hugo?
No. The wrestler. He went against Gable Stevens.
In what were we talking
He's in
about?
the plus 80, bro.
Kirk Villette?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
He's- I think he's training jiu-jitsu too.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. There's going to
No
be some
joke.
interesting ones that we didn't even talk about.
He's
plus
still
80 at all.
wrestling also.
Yeah.
He redshirted 1 year, I think, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Egghead Warrior says the difference is PGF really gives the money back to the competitors from the gear team sponsors. That's actually true.
Yep.
The sponsorship drives the payouts. UFC just pockets the vast majority of the gear sponsorship money. It's probably true.
Not wrong.
And Egghead says,
I like this comment.
how do you make it exciting? 6-minute rounds, subs for points, or nothing. Extra point for sub in less than 1 minute. Sounds familiar. That's the PGF.
Yeah.
BGF
I
brings it.
agree. Now, this is the trick, I think, with the PGF, and I love the PGF, especially after spending a week there,
Right.
intensely watching it and understanding how the blocks work and the scoring, and you get the bigger picture of it. the challenge is, how do you onboard somebody who doesn't understand that and they don't know it, and how do you communicate that to them in 1 minute?
Yeah.
How do you make it real easy to understand and super, like, what's the big gripe about the PFL? Do you know how the PFL works? Do you know how the PFL works?
I don't know that.
Do you know how it works?
I do. Yeah.
But a lot of people don't.
Tournament format with points, decisions are zeros. Yeah. Decisions are 1 point, subs are 2, and then knockouts are 3.
So
Yeah.
PGF is in a similar vein,
It
right?
is.
Where you earn points based on how you win. But many people, when they engage with it, they don't realize that there's another, meta going
level
on.
to it.
Yeah.
That's where the sportification of it comes, which makes it fun to follow. But that fun doesn't kick in until you go like, oh, this is what's going on.
Right.
It's this team against that team and that team and that team, and they're competing, and then the individuals are earning points, and the top 8 are going to like get after it too.
Yeah.
I actually think the standing up between rounds for CJI is probably more directed towards people with familiarity for UFC.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter what position you were in.
It's
You're going to
definitely
start
catering
standing
to
in.
that crowd.
Yeah, and it's smart, and something tells me, because he's got deep ties at Fight Pass. Don't forget. This is very political when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Gordon got hurt, and then his tummy hurt, and I mean it is what it is. I mean,
Gordon's tummy, front of the show.
he's got he's got problems, and Craig saved the day. Nicky Rod saved the day. They got good graces with the UFC folks. I think that they're held in high standard there. I would imagine if CJI starts to take off, there'll be a Fight Pass deal like BMAC. I really hope that Fight Pass makes a full investment into jiu-jitsu. It could be, I mean, they have EBI, right? They have it still.
Yeah.
But it's, there's competition now.
Doesn't it make sense if you're okay, so when I think of professional sports in America, you have MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL. Major League Soccer's pretty popular. Not everywhere, but soccer's pretty popular.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have the UFC. And then you have like F1 and things like that. But those are like specialty sports. And they're kind of like,
Right.
I don't know if
Hoity-toity.
driving a car is a sport, but I get it.
Yeah.
It's a competition. I'm down with it. The UFC has put themselves in a position that they are MMA, and that like NFL is football. You could play other.
Oh, the
football.
name is the sport.
That it's it. Like,
Yeah.
it's the thing. When you think about it, it's like
I train UFC.
UFC.
yeah.
So what they need is talent. You need to find the best guys, and you need to develop them. And one of the ways to develop them is by investing in the sports that develop the skill sets that they need. And grappling is one of those things. You need grappling. You need to be able to strike. That's why the UFC owns so many small organizations and in outfits, because that's how they're generating talent. That's how they're finding who's good. That's how that's like the minor leagues of fighting almost, in a way.
Do you think that with PGF here, so like, for instance, Jet Thompson came out of PGF and stole my heart. Literally by the end of that tournament, I was a fan of a 17-year-old grappler.
Absolutely.
Had him on. He's awesome.
Yeah, holy smokes. Like, what a stud. Absolutely made his name in that tournament. Here's the thing I think about with that format. Why not take that kid and have him open up? I don't care if you're doing 205 next. Give him a goddamn match.
Yeah.
I don't care what you're doing. Give a few of those. Super fight. Yes. And keep building those names.
Those ideas are on the table.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I also think BMAC, this is just my, if you're listening, do the next PGF in the Southeast touring so do Huntsville, do Nashville, do Little Rock, and then end in Atlanta.
That'd be cool.
But keep it contained. So if our schools want to get together and we're like, hey, we're going to do 2 of them, we're going to go to 2, and not big cap.
So about the qualifiers?
No,
or the actual season?
The actual ones. Like, so if it was over 4 weeks or whatever it is, you keep it contained, right? So it's in a region. So you're driving your truck easy, but it gives the opportunity to dominate a region. Next one, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona.
Yeah, you take it on the road.
A little on the road, not all the way. And then that's when you can nurture those names like that. I think that's the one thing that Eddie did so good with EBI in the beginning. 100% will admit it. barely knew who Gary Tonin was.
Right.
That motherfucker comes out swinging a sword.
Yeah.
An EBI. Eddie Cummings.
Yeah.
These names became like historic names through that tournament. And then he just kind of had them on all the time. It was super fights and different things in the middle. And you're like, oh, I'm going to watch because this.
Yeah.
And then I saw a new bracket and I get so excited. And,
Yeah.
you know, I was a fledgling, like, I viewed competition as sterile. And I just never really liked jiu-jitsu competition back in the day. But then my eyes kind of changed with these new exciting guys, and you're bringing them back over and over and over again.
Yeah.
The familiarity starts, you know?
I would say that's how Gordon started to develop as a star, was through EBI. That's the first. He was wearing the Burger King crown.
Yeah.
He subbed in for Gary Tonin. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Gary got hurt,
Yeah,
couldn't
you're
do
right.
absolute, and he jumped in and just murked everybody.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was the best story ever. And that was when he was not even with Danaher for that long at that point.
Yeah, must have been 24 or 23, maybe earlier.
Younger than that. I think he was like 22, 21. He was
crazy.
He was in Jersey still.
That's right.
Yeah, training at a different gym.
Yeah, if you're joining us on Instagram, I didn't push the go live button. I just pushed it right now. So
Damn.
you have to catch the beginning of the show on YouTube. We got a couple more comments here real quick. Lauren McAdams says, why did PGF get rid of their women's bracket? And Egghead Warrior, who is one of the voices of the PGF, says, who is a stellar individual, by the way, man.
Yeah.
He's freaking great, dude. He's a machine. He said, Lauren, the women's bracket of the season was a trial run during season 4. It almost didn't happen because not enough ladies signed up for the qualifiers. Since then, PGF had a small bracket or super fight championship match of part of the season. Yeah, Nakaya defended her belt.
She's a
She's
stud.
amazing.
Oh
sick.
my gosh.
And then he says PGF did qualifiers all over the place in season 3.
She just got her black belt too, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just got her last week or so.
Yeah, a couple.
She was on that last WNO card and beat that MMA fighter too.
She's
tough.
a savage.
Man.
Yeah.
She's a
Or no,
savage.
did she beat Lauren Sears?
I don't remember.
She's great.
Yeah, she is.
She's sick. Either
Yeah,
way.
she's incredible.
Okay, talking about the Olympics, we never got to the wrestling part.
Yeah.
Big props to, how do you say her name? Amit Allure.
Yeah.
Won the gold medal, 68 kilograms. Walnut Creek, California, not far from Stockton.
Yeah, up in your neck of the woods.
It's Walnut Creek's really nice though.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very nice. But it's surrounded by like Oakland and Vallejo and Richmond, like real, like not safe areas at all.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about her brother, she has an older brother that got murdered 2018.
No way.
Holy shit.
Home invasion robbery.
Oh my God.
Her dad died during COVID. Her grandfather is a Holocaust survivor, and her great-grandmother is a Holocaust survivor. So, obviously, your great-grandmother's probably not alive now, but survived the Holocaust.
I'm grateful for the life I have.
Yeah, crazy,
That's
crazy, man. Absolute terror on the mats. And this is why I'm so interested in this particular story, is that one of her wrestling coaches is Sarah McMahon.
Yeah, I
who's,
saw her in the back.
you know, a silver medalist in wrestling, MMA fighter, you know, great coach. And she said that she credits her Amit's blending of jiu-jitsu, judo, and freestyle wrestling.
Oh, wow.
She's like,
Look at that.
it makes her so difficult to predict what she's going to do for her opponents. Like, she's just always off script.
Yeah.
So that's
if you watch wrestling lately,
there's a lot more of it mixing.
There's a lot more submission grappling
Yeah.
happening.
Especially at the high school level right now.
Bro.
I'm seeing it
It's
a
the
lot
best.
more. I
Oh,
think,
really?
Yes, and I think what's happened
That's
is
sick.
a lot of kids are growing up and they're teenagers now, and they've been doing both since they were young. Like they did wrestling camps and they did jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And there was it wasn't an either or. It was just something that they did.
Yeah.
Dudes like you were putting their belted kids in wrestling and showing them some cool shit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
but I see it. I see kids in wrestling when they get the back. I see them put the hooks in. I see them get over under grips.
Yeah.
So they don't get bucked off.
Yeah.
Some kids are playing butterfly because there's this tendency in wrestling. If you get broken down to your hip, they belly out. Nobody wants to get pinned.
Yeah. They kind of
Right.
stop, don't they? when they go hips
freestyle
down.
will stop. You get so much time to work and then you stop. Folk style, I like folk style much better because you keep grappling and they try to turn them over and pin them. But you see some kids play butterfly. So when they sit on their butt, they don't belly out. They try to drag or get a little sweep, and
I have not seen that yet.
It's pretty cool to watch.
There's no points against you for having your hips on the ground or anything like that. That's all right.
If you put somebody on their butt, but you don't put their shoulders, like put their upper body down, I don't believe you get points. Folk style. I don't know about freestyle.
Freestyle is a point.
Probably get a point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freestyle is fun to watch.
Yeah,
but
it's the most athletic.
There's a certain part of it that's annoying when it's like, oh, you get a point because you pushed him out of bounds. Right. Oh, you spun him around 3 times and you just collected points. It's cool, but it's like, come on.
Here's the one thing about freestyle wrestling that I've like grown to love is every single wrestler, male or female, is an expert at one thing. They can shoot a double leg from 30 feet away. Right. You're like, how the fuck did he do that? And there's nothing you can do about it. Or they got inside ties and trips like you've never seen. The hand fighting's at a different level too.
Yeah, it is.
They don't like. That's when like we're so immature as like like we're like. I'm hanging on the head for, I don't know, a minute and a half. Like, what? That would never fly, dude.
It's because most of us came from getting that death grip on the jacket and just being like, you ain't going to take me down if I'm holding this jacket and I'm straight arming you the whole time.
Coming with me, you son of a bitch.
I got lucky. I started off in no gi.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't touch a gi until I was a purple belt. I had to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went to a gym and they forced me to put it on. I was like, no.
I don't want to wear it.
They had to hold them down and put it on them?
No, basically, dude.
Fuck it.
Scratchy.
Basically.
Pajamas. It's not time for bed.
I started with UFC wrestlers as a white belt.
Oh, interesting.
Tom Lawler. And
yeah,
that was the gym I started at. The
so
Jungle
you
MMA.
You were always used to that.
Yo, dude,
that
I was like, hey, I invented this cool throw. Clay at the time I was like 160 pounds. They're like, come over here. I'm gonna throw you. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Oh, geez.
I'm getting ready to go fight Chris Weidman, which he was.
Yeah.
And I was his dummy. And
you
it was
were the guy.
Phenomenal. It was super fun.
It was fun though. Now when
looking
you look
back on it, it was wonderful and it made me who I am. But
what about in the moment?
I'm broken.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
Yeah. But I mean, but that's the other thing too, is like, and you're right, like grabbing the jacket, collar ties, stuff like that. I always say I'm the best fake wrestler.
Yeah.
Like I'll stand and like I have weird stances and stuff and I'll do weird shit. But like I can make you think like, oh, you a wrestler? Fuck no, dude.
Yeah.
no. But I'll fake it real good. Like right to the line. And then you see me shoot and you go, oh, dude, this dad never wrestled a day in his life.
I think that wrestling for jiu-jitsu or wrestling with submissions, it changes how you wrestle.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of wrestling that is not good for jiu-jitsu. Like you put your head in bad spots, you end up in weird spots.
That's what I was noticing. They would almost give up like, I don't know, there would be some positions that almost looks like they were giving up like a crucifix almost.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, what is going on?
Yeah.
Bringing it back to the Olympic ladies wrestling, and I don't know if this is real or not, isn't it the fastest growing female sport
It might be.
in the United States?
That would not surprise
in the
me.
United
I think
States,
I've heard that too.
Yeah, and in the United States, female wrestling is the top. We have a Allie at our gym. Have you seen Allie?
I don't think so.
She wrestled in college, and she's a Army Ranger. It's the Lacerda Cup. She just won. She fought men.
Oh, wow.
She fought fucking men. She's a gangster wrestler.
She shouldn't be fighting men unless it's for money. It's CJI.
I know. But having said that, like when I don't know, women are so much more technical than men. It's ridiculous. Like you'll show them like one or two things. Even Lauren, like you'll show them one or two things, and they're so much better. I'm so glad that like if that's the barrier of entry into combat, like I just all I care about is combat.
Yeah.
So if that's the barrier of entry, if girls can wrap themselves around wrestling, dude, wrestle.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Girls wrestling has been the fastest growing high school sport in the United States over the past decade. The number of high school girls wrestling teams has quadrupled, and the number of girls wrestling has increased 5-fold to more than 50,000.
That's sick.
In 2023, the sport grew by almost 60%, which was the biggest increase in decades.
That's cool.
That's sick.
That's nuts.
That's what's needed.
That's sick,
Yeah.
dude.
That's
They went through
pretty
COVID,
cool.
and they were like, fuck.
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
They're killing people.
But you see all these freaking trapped out girls because, like, you know what it does to our
dude.
necks and just
Yeah,
fucking,
they're
you
just
just shrink into yourself.
Also, to add to that point, you know, up until 2024, only 2 American women had ever won gold.
Yeah.
Oh,
in
you were
wrestling.
saying this earlier.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. It was nuts.
So
That's nuts.
Sarah Hillebrand also won gold today in the 50 kilogram division. So that's 2 added.
That's crazy.
We've doubled it,
Yeah.
which is pretty dope.
That's nuts.
To be honest, the ladies' matches I'll say this. I can say this because I was born in the 70s, so I could say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I prefer watching men's sports with most sports. I want to watch dudes play football.
Yeah, it's been
I
fun
want to
being on
watch
YouTube.
dudes play basketball.
Yeah.
But when it comes, I mostly want to watch dudes fight. But when it comes to grappling or wrestling,
Trapzilla.
I find
Yeah.
the women's divisions just as exciting
exciting.
and sometimes
Dude,
better.
Medusa? is
Medusa's
fucking good.
savage,
Medusa's
bro.
sick.
And
Savage.
with combat jiu-jitsu, I think the ladies division.
Have you tuned into any of the one kickboxing or Muay Thai? Have
Oh.
you seen Supergirl?
Oh,
I've
yeah.
watched,
Oh
I've watched
my
the ladies
God.
Muay Thai.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
She'll knock you out from 7 feet away. Dude.
Yeah.
She's
And again, not a goddamn thing you're doing about it.
yeah, yeah. But that's and Egghead said it earlier. Like not a lot of girls signed up for the event. It's a slow. It's difficult to talk about, but there's not it. The barrier of entry for women is so difficult. It's easy for us
Right.
guys to sit here and talk and say whatever we want. It's so hard for them to start, but when they do, there's nothing more rewarding than
Yeah.
seeing a female find her spot in a gym,
Yeah.
enjoy combat, and then get along with the boys and the women if you're creating that environment.
Yeah.
But if it's, I don't give a fuck. If it's boxing, wrestling, combat, though, a martial art, dude, there's nothing more gangster than a chick who's into that.
Yeah.
It's just, it breeds like unbridled confidence. That's like,
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
yeah. So that's rad.
Do you
I-
think they're more technical because they have to be? Because
No, I think they're smarter than us. I think they're
There's
smarter
that
than
too.
us.
That's a good
100%.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, we're dumb, dude.
point. That's true.
Yeah, I can't lose pass.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can also like depend on our muscles a lot more, right? Like our
Yeah.
strength and like I could just
Or
fuck
gear.
this guy off.
Yeah, I think that they're a lot more. If I say 5 things, they heard all 5. If I say 5 things to a guy, he heard the first and the last,
Yeah.
and then I have to
Yeah.
go around the
In-
room and tie
in-
it all together.
In
Yeah.
this configuration.
Yeah,
the processing of information is different. I will say, in my experience with like kids programs, lots of kids over the years, my best students were mostly girls
always.
until about 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And then the boys started growing, and then the overcompensation kicked in.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, but I can just kind of power through this now.
Right.
And that takes a while for like a 12-year-old girl to figure out how to deal with.
Yeah,
Like how to
that's a
deal
good
with
point.
that level of aggression is like, oh shit, I'm
That's-
a kid, yo. But that's the
Yeah.
best time to learn it.
100%.
That's the best
Yeah.
time to inoculate yourself.
That's when you
to it.
lose most of your kids though too, which is the most unfortunate thing. Like 11,
around
Dude.
12,
oh,
13.
no, 11,
Man.
yeah.
Yeah.
6th grade comes.
Dude.
What do you do after school? I play fight.
Bro.
Cool, man.
Before COVID, in Stockton, before COVID, I had a teens program with kids from like 12 to 15. I had like 35 kids in that program, which it's really hard
Holy
to
shit.
capture that audience. Most of them had kind of come up in the program, but COVID decimated it.
I'm sure.
After they all started staying home,
Yeah.
nope,
They
none
just
of them
didn't come back.
They didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
When we
Yeah.
opened up, they're like, "Oh, coach, I'm just decimated." It's like, damn.
Yeah.
That's such a hard.
One of the things I
audience
preach,
to get.
like I'm not very preachy as a coach, but I say this all the time. If you get injured, if a life event happens, if, for instance, people have babies, right?
Yeah.
If or somebody tears a knee or ankle or whatever,
Lose your job, change your job.
still show up. Still show up. Sit on the sides and show up. Don't break the ritual. Don't break
I
the
agree with
ritual.
you.
Yeah, and let's say you were a 5-day-a-week guy, come in twice.
Yeah.
Come in 3 times, but come in because that's your tribe. Also, they want to
Yeah.
see you. They do want to see you. They want to check in, and it's kind of like I don't even know how to explain it, but they're not going to check on you overtly you got to show up because they're all there. We're all there every day. I always,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you ever see a guy who like comes in like once every 2 months, but he's a member.
Yeah.
And you're always there.
Yeah.
And they show up and you're like, oh man, it's okay. You're here now, but it's
Yeah.
fine. But we're always
You
here.
almost forget that they come, and then
Yeah.
you see them, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, that guy's here."
Yeah. And for me, it's like if you get hurt or anything like that, or a life, it's like, dude, just show up.
Yeah.
Just show up and sit on the side and just chill. Take notes. Talk shit to everybody. Say when I get healed, I'm gonna whip your ass or
Yeah.
do whatever. You know what I mean? But still show up. You got to
part-
show up.
Take your part on the team.
100%.
One of my first jiu-jitsu coaches, his name was Ernest Mello. He used to say that, and it made sense to me.
Yeah.
What happens, I think, if you don't come, then you fill up that space with something else.
Beer.
And now when you're ready to go back, now you have to give something up.
Yes.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
And this sounds, I don't know how this sounds, but you know, let's say you have a family.
Yeah.
And you've carved out, hey, I train on Tuesday and Saturday. And
Mm-hmm.
that works for your family. But you get hurt and now you're taking the kids to XYZ every Tuesday. Well, guess what? You're not going back to
No,
jiu-jitsu
you're
on
not.
Tuesday nights now.
Nope.
That's done.
Nope.
So if you can show, I understand if you're like post surgery 2 days out, and you're like, yeah, dog, I'm not coming in to sit
Right.
on the mat today.
Yeah.
But as soon as you can, you get back in, water the plants, talk shit,
Yeah.
take some film, like just get in the picture, just be part of what's going on. And it makes your recovery faster. I
Yeah.
think you're in a better mental state. You still get some of the juice from that squeeze.
Oh, for sure.
You know, you
Yeah.
don't get you might gain some weight. That's what happens when you get hurt.
Yeah.
But enjoy it.
I had
Especially talking shit. I'll even
Yeah,
a
dude.
couple of the guys that we've had that have to go out, I'll text them directly, be like, "Hey, do you want to go get food? Like, we're still here. We still miss you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you come back in."
I had
kind of thing.
I played guitar when I was younger, and I had a jazz teacher. I say this fucking quote all the time, and it makes me nauseous that I say it so often, but it's so damn good. He came up to me one day. He goes, "Clay, do you eat?" And I said, "Yeah, of course I eat." He goes, "Do you eat jazz?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're in a jazz band. Do you eat jazz? Do you listen to jazz?" I said, "No." He goes, "Go home and eat some jazz." And so when I talked to my students about jiu-jitsu, I said, "Are you eating jiu-jitsu? Are you watching jiu-jitsu? Or you just do it in here?" You'll find that most of your students only do it in the room.
Yeah.
They don't watch it.
They don't even know who half the guys
No,
are.
which I think
Yeah.
is awesome at the
It's
same time.
kinda funny,
It's
though.
kind of
Yeah,
cool
I
because I'm
know.
like sitting over here like salivating.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also think it's kind of like amazing because when I get I'm like, we just put up a painting in the gym of Marcelo Garcia,
Nice.
and nobody's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "I can't wait to tell you,
Yeah.
our Lord and Savior."
Yeah.
And I'll go on this whole diatribe about Marcelo and how much I love him, and it was the first star that ever like kind of changed my life, and blah blah blah. And I watched them start watching the film, and they'll come back like,
Yeah.
"Dude, that guillotine! Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And that's like the thing about it. Are you eating jujitsu? Are you going home? So when you're injured or you're sick or you have something going on, hey, did you watch the WNO? Did you break down? Did you see like, oh dude, if you ever get like, you know, you're sitting there and you're like jonesing or whatever, and you just look up highlights.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you can run through a fucking
awesome.
wall, dude.
How many times have you
Fuck yeah.
seen something and you're like,
Fuck yeah.
I'm going to remember that. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
I'm going to write that.
Yeah.
I hardly ever do, but
Yeah.
I always say I'm going to do it.
I have
Yeah.
I have a saved folder on
Yeah.
my YouTube
Right,
for
right.
all that stuff.
I think it's important. One of the first homework assignments I like to give new people is go watch jiu-jitsu and see if you can identify the positions.
No, that's good.
Just try to be like, that's half guard.
Yeah.
That's mount. Like, develop the ability to even contextualize it in your head.
right.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
don't.
you've even had us in the back room and taught a bunch of us that wanted to come after a class how to watch film.
Yeah.
And actually
like how to
identify those
analyze it,
positions
yeah.
and figure out, okay, well, that works for me. I do that in the gym. I can now see this and other stuff and figure out where I'm going from there.
Yeah.
It's been super helpful.
It's helpful to watch it. I agree with you.
100.
And it doesn't have to always be like I'm studying.
Well, like
It can
you're-
just be
you're-
for fun.
You were talking about like you're getting into F1.
Yeah.
I bet you've already gone a layer deeper. I bet,
yeah.
yeah, dude. But that's the
course.
thing about it. It's like
Yeah.
you're eating F1.
Yeah.
And so that teacher that I had
I'm watching
forever
the
ago-
pre-shows. and-
Yeah. And he was like talking to me about jazz, and I was like, you're right, I don't. And then literally fell in love with jazz, the music, not the playing of it.
Mm.
You know, anybody who's in a metal band probably listens to metal.
Shitload.
Yeah. But in jiu-jitsu, we tend to,
Yeah.
all of our students off the street, they could be all the way up to like a purple belt, maybe have never watched a match.
That's wild, huh?
It's nuts.
It is. I
Yeah.
guess it's
We're a percentage of a percentage.
martial
Yeah.
arts, you
Yeah.
know, at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like Such a weird thing. I think if it was just a sport, just purely sport,
Yeah.
then the people that come and do it also probably are a fan of the sport already.
Right.
Most kids.
Could you imagine going to an NFL game and everyone used to be in the NFL in the stadium? They're fucking huge.
There'd probably be a lot less dumb shit calls.
But, you know, like most everyone's played two-hand touch football.
100%.
You know, or like a lot of people played high school football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have some relationship to it. But you're right. With jiu-jitsu, it's just like,
I mean, you weren't allowed to wrestle in school,
was about
right?
to
Like
say,
if
in
you
your-
guys started
Yeah.
tumbling too
Yeah.
much, the teacher would separate.
Yeah.
Oh, you might end up fighting.
Yeah.
You know.
I was about to
So-
say, in your generation, that would have been true. And for me and Omar, not really. Not anymore.
we got away with
Yeah.
quite a bit more.
Yeah.
My kids couldn't even play tag. They
weren't allowed to
Really?
play
You
tag.
could not listen to this. You couldn't play tag. It was considered too dangerous to be running and touch another person.
Jesus H.
And you also could not free play on the jungle gym. They had a taped out strip that was your path. And there were like 3 paths, and you stood in line. It's like, okay, your turn, Johnny. And then Johnny
Yuck.
could follow the tape through the thing. And then,
Dude, that's yucky.
I'm the exact opposite. I grew up in Florida, and behind my school was legitimately
A
a
meth
fence, and it was this tall.
It was a crocodile
And
wrestling.
there was
pit.
fucking alligators behind it. And they said,
Ding, ding, ding,
don't
ding."
go near the fence. There's alligators behind it.
They're
So,
like, you have to sign a
you're
waiver
always
from
at
your
the
mom.
fence.
oh,
Yeah,
duh,
yeah.
bro. Yeah, there's a kid named Luther Dixon, wherever he is. God bless you, kid. But we would just throw rocks at alligators. All that was recess in kindergarten, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
yeah,
let's go.
yeah, whatever, man.
God.
Yeah, it's
So
not like
Florida,
that anymore.
dude. Florida,
Dude,
man.
We used to have this thing called Greek dodgeball. I don't know why we called it that, but it was just
Let's hope
brutal.
it gets racial.
No, I mean it was just regular dodgeball, but it was on this massive court, and I saw so many kids get pelted like
Oh, yeah.
in the face. Like
That's character
hard.
building.
dude. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
was the
You're not
best of
supposed to hit 'em
times,
in the
man.
head.
You're not supposed to, but
Yeah.
you would.
Speaking of dodgeball, have you gone down the rabbit hole on Instagram on adult dodgeball
Yeah.
highlights?
Yes.
Big time.
There's
Yeah,
one
they're sick.
particular dude I was following for a minute. He's kind of just like, it looks like a chubby Mexican
Sure.
dude.
Yeah, hell
and
yeah.
he's so freaking
He
good.
can launch
Never
it.
underestimate a heavy
Bro.
Mexican man.
Yeah.
He can curve him.
Cain
He can
Velasquez.
send it like
you
8
go.
feet to the corner, and he just tags people that are unsuspecting.
Oh yeah,
They think they're safe. It's like, ow!
dude.
Puts that heavy spin on it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
this close to quitting jiu-jitsu for spike ball, so don't tempt me with dodgeball. I'm being dead serious. Anything to stop hurting.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Dude,
More test.
Miocic saying he's going to retire after he fights John Jones.
Before?
After he fights John Jones.
Oh, that was the plan.
Was that always the plan?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, he would have taken another fight if he
That was the
really
plan,
wanted to.
Omar.
That was the plan. Oh fuck.
Yeah.
I
he-
didn't know.
Yeah, I think he's been done. He's a staple in the community. He's got a ton of sponsors.
Oh really?
He has a dream farm up in Ohio, right?
I don't even know. Is this going to be like when Pacquiao fought Mayweather? Like it takes so long to happen
Yeah.
that neither guy is maybe where they used to be and the interest isn't there as much.
And they still make $50 million each.
I think Jones murks any heavyweight outside of Aspinall. There's too many questions there.
Yeah.
I think Miocic. This. They're going for legacy. They're going for this. He's the greatest heavyweight to ever. The most title defenses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Jones should just move on, but he wants that moment. He wants that moment. I love John Jones.
Do you think John Jones retires before he fights Aspinall?
There's a
think they'll-
chance.
You think
He's
they'll
a
ever-
troll. He's the best troll there ever was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also gonna say I fucking love John Jones.
Me too.
I mean,
I mean he's the
I
goat.
think he's the best.
I think he's the best ever.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah. I mean outside of GSP, but
I think he's better than GSP. He's way more exciting.
well, but here's the problem.
And John Jones never got knocked out.
You're right. You're right.
Which is nuts.
And he hasn't gotten submitted either.
You're right.
Which is nuts.
You're right. But GSP comes off the couch, puts in a camp, and becomes middleweight champion and goes, see you later.
I know. I know.
Like, that's
dude,
gangster. And
It's a
Dana's
strong argument.
never been so mad.
it's a strong argument.
Yeah. But I think personally, like Stipe, we'll all watch because we're freaks, but, nobody cares.
Just
How
the
many?
mutants.
What is Stipe's record?
Well, I mean, he got knocked out by Ngannou. Ngannou took the belt. And he never fought after that.
Nagano just announced a fight, didn't he? Did they just
I thought he
say?
did on
The PFL one?
Yeah.
Does it have a date? I don't think it has a
Can't
date.
remember.
Miocic is 20-4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad record.
It's not a bad.
I think people are going to tune in to watch it.
Yeah,
but
Sean Jones.
primarily they're tuning in because it's John Jones.
Yeah, Sean Jones. And the other thing, too, is like he moves too fast for the heavyweights. His wrestling and his submission grappling is just
It's
top
good, dude.
fucking notch. And he's 6'4" freak. Can't forget who his brothers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arthur and Chandler are
And he-
absolute animals.
And he's got power.
Yeah.
He has serious power.
And he got elbows, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now they're having those 12-6.
12-6 plus tripoding is not grounding. But the UFC hasn't adopted it yet. We have to wait to see what they do.
He's
It's a
got
state-by-state case.
He's got the kicks.
Tripoding.
Yeah, so if if I had one hand down and 2 feet down,
Yeah.
I'm grounded.
You know, the
Oh,
guys
I
would
see.
put their hand
play the
down and
game.
Yeah,
playing a little. Now
I
you
see.
could catch a knee.
Stipe's got a birthday
Wow.
coming up too.
Yeah. it's gonna be interesting. The heavyweight division moves too slow, and I hate it. Light heavyweight is obviously back because of
lot funner.
Pereira. I mean,
Yeah.
he's the new star. I mean, that's the one thing I think everybody should talk about the UFC is like he saves UFC 300. Connor and Chandler gets nixed. He steps up on 2 weeks' notice
Yeah.
and gives the performance of a lifetime
Yeah.
twice
does.
in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the golden boy of the UFC now. He'll do anything. He was just. Did you see him at Zuck's? Did you see him?
Yeah. They did a reenactment of the
Olympics?
Games. Yeah.
He's
I didn't
he's
see that.
he's the guy. He just did that. He shaved his head for cancer with the kid, and
Yeah.
that was emotional as
Saw that,
hell.
yeah.
Dude, he is the golden boy of the UFC right now. And they need to give him his due though, and they need to give him time to build a card. They need to give him goddamn John Jones.
Yeah. That'd be a good fight.
Yeah,
I think Jones would beat him.
yeah, but give it to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, give him the greatest. He deserves it.
Yeah. That'd be a great fight. I really want to see John Jones and Francis fight.
Never happened.
I know, but that's the one. It's going to be like, we want to see Fedor fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Ngannou's got bad management. I think that's the culprit. And no one talks about it.
Interesting.
Yeah,
It's
he
not Ngannou himself.
well, Ngannou used to be a part of this really great French camp that Cyril Gane is a part of. Yeah, they used to be training partners, and their manager was their head coach. And then what ended up happening was there was a split, and nobody really knew why. It was because he got a new manager, and apparently they just don't know how to negotiate. Put a lot of things in Ngannou's head, and he started thinking he went into crazy debt. Did you know about that? He had advances from the UFC. They gave him some advances. That's why Dana's so burnt. They gave him advances and all this different stuff, and then he said, "See ya."
Oh, wow.
Not good. Yeah, it's bad business. Here's the thing about
Yeah.
it is the UFC is they will go on without you. You know?
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah. They just cut that. What's that one guy's name? They just cut. It was undefeated.
Oh, Makayev?
Makayev?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has a shitty attitude,
Yeah.
and his management was bad too. And they said, you know what? See ya.
Even PFL was like,
No.
don't really want him.
Yeah, Ray Sefo said, not a chance.
Nope.
Yeah.
You have to be a top tier, bona fide superstar that sells pay-per-views. Like the numbers have to back you
Yeah.
up, and then they give you some leeway. But if you're not that guy, they don't care about your record.
Yeah, if you're not Sean O'Malley, like,
They get
Well,
outta
be a
here.
good person. You scratch the company's back, they'll scratch your back.
Yeah.
Don't forget that these guys do PR tours, right? If you've been, they're out front, they're with the tequila company or the Howler Head or whatever, and
Yeah,
they're
it's
doing
a
all this thing.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you play the game, dude, Cowboy.
yeah,
Cowboy's a
for
man
sure.
of the people.
Yeah,
for sure.
He does. He's still on the payroll. He's still out there doing stuff.
Right.
One of the greatest to ever do it. And he treated them well. They're treating him real well for forever. For forever. He deserves it.
Yeah, Makayev was like, just give me one more chance. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'll do whatever. I'll do one more fight for free. Like,
Yeah.
you don't even have to pay me. And Dana's just like,
What-
negative.
What I hate, and I think this happens in a lot of things, is the owners will take a risk, buy this fledgling MMA organization, put investment into it, go through the sacrifices and whatever it takes, and then there's a payoff. Now, 99% of the time, there's no payoff. They go bust, and it's like, okay, you're just another dude that tried.
Right.
But it works out. They sell it for billions of dollars. That's great, right? But in hindsight, now fighters look back and go, you ripped us off. You didn't pay us enough. We built your organization. You should have paid us. And I understand the sentiment, but I don't necessarily agree with it because one is like nobody made you take the contract.
I say that every time.
Nobody made you take it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to sign it.
And at the time, many of these guys were the highest paid guys in MMA.
Yeah. At the time, they thought it was a solid
So
deal, or
it's
else they
like,
wouldn't have signed it.
What are you going to do, man?
Exactly.
It grew. It got super popular like everybody wanted it to. All the money we thought would come, it actually came. But
Right.
guess
Yeah.
what? It doesn't go to you. It goes to the dudes that took the
Also,
risk.
don't be an absolute moron and have okay, if you were from Nowheresville, Tennessee, and then you went down to Florida to one of those big camps, they're going to charge you more. It's more expensive to live
Right,
there. There's
right.
all these things. Why the thing that made you great was being here. Why didn't
Yeah.
you just stay here and cut costs? Why don't you not go buy an Escalade? Why don't you just stick with the Civic, bro? It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. And these guys, the allure of chains and this and
Yeah.
that and the gimmick, it's like that's not what made. What's it's escaping me, but the guy from Brockton, Massachusetts, Hagler. He said, he's the one who coined the phrase. It's difficult to wake up and soak sheets.
Marvis Marvelin had.
Yeah, and he used to train on the Cape, running in the snow with no socks on, like just savage
Fucking
to remember
Yeah.
where he came from. He was a millionaire, but
And
never
stay
acted like
Stay
it,
hungry.
dude.
Well, that's the question about Connor right now.
Yeah,
Is he hungry?
no,
But I think a lot of guys, they like fighting, but they want to be Conor McGregor, or they want like the fame and the accoutrements and the praise and the
Right.
love and the
Prestige.
attention and the
Yeah.
prestige and the
Yeah.
persona more than they want the
A fight.
to actually be a real talented fighter and to really put the work in to get it.
yeah,
And so as soon as they get a taste of that, they're always looking for the upgrade.
Yeah.
I'm over here now. I got this now. I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
It's a great way to go broke.
Well, the other thing too is like there's so many ways to leverage things. All these people have podcasts now. They all have different brands and stuff, and some of them are going about the right way. Some are going about the wrong way. It's like we're in such a unique time where you can build something and release something and make something truly yours. Like I wasn't the biggest Sean O'Malley fan. I've turned around on the guy.
Me too.
I think he's great.
Me too.
I think he's a good human being too. Like inside of himself. I
He
think he's-
doesn't seem like he's bad.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said some things. He had Craig on recently, and it was really good. And you could tell he's a fan of everything and watches everything. He also had a self-critical thing that he said where he's like talking about how he has to get better on the mic. And it was a very vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
He's like, I have to figure this out. I have to figure out how to talk better. And it's like, damn, son, like if you're self-assessing like that, that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Not I'm the best, blah, blah,
Yeah.
this sort of gimmick. And now look at him. The biggest card of the year, arguably, is the Sphere.
I know.
Yeah.
He's headlining.
Yeah.
And to the UFC is really good at replacing one big star with another big star. Dana's not like, and a lot of people dislike Dana, but Dana has
Love
worked really hard to keep the UFC from splintering like boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
is no good. No, we don't want that. Like, not like that.
You do want a beta organization, you got one now. Bellator went up kaput, but you do want you want someone there in the wings.
Sure.
But there's never going to be another UFC.
No.
We're so lucky.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand? Like,
Got to follow it
dude, me too.
from nothing.
Yeah,
And at the same time, while we were following it, we were competing and practicing another martial art
yeah.
that was getting pulled up with it.
Do you remember when Damian Maia joined the UFC?
Yeah, it's a big deal, man.
Oh my God!
best jiu-jitsu guy is so fucking
He trips Chael Sonnen into a triangle.
Yep.
Oh my
I was
God!
just watching some of his highlights the other day. One of the guys here was talking about
Yeah.
him, and I was like, I've never really seen his stuff. I know the name, but
Freaking
Yeah.
amazing. And
Just
then he
crying.
turned around and got
God.
hands. And
Yeah.
started popping dudes, man.
Yeah.
He was great to watch. He was
Yeah.
one of my favorites.
Oh, for sure. I think arguably the best jiu-jitsu practitioner in MMA from a jiu-jitsu standpoint. Well, I mean, Hajar did
Yeah.
MMA, but he got crucified.
He
by
didn't have the
striking.
same success.
No,
that, you know.
no. Strikeforce pieced him up.
Yeah.
I was going to say that I caught UFC right at the tail end of Chuck Liddell's, and then went right into BJ Penn before I even knew about really what jiu-jitsu was. So I got to see BJ Penn's reign of terror, and I'm like,
That's pretty cool.
Eventually, if I can find where this is near me, I have to try to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's nuts.
Go ahead.
That's how I started jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I was fat and just and out of shape and playing rock and roll, and desperately loved UFC. I used to back in Orlando, there was a bar. This is terrible. It's on International Drive, and I could drink underage there. and I would go there all the time and watch fights. And I would just love and love and love and love it. And then a friend of mine had a friend that owned a school, and I went there on a free trial, and I was like, I want to learn UFC.
Were you instantly hooked, like right away,
Bro.
first day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and then, well, that was the first, it was an American top team in Orlando. And then I just did the trial. And then a few months later, the jungle opened up because Seth Petrozelli owned it, and he knocked out Kimbo.
Oh, yeah.
Folded a bunch of that money with another guy named Mike Lee and Tom Lawler, and opened up that. Brother, I was hooked.
Yeah, dude.
Like a times a day,
Yeah.
5-6 days a week.
It's intoxicating.
Oh, and I just knew it was this infinite puzzle.
And I think there was this sense that it was real,
Yeah.
and not everybody knew it. And you kind of felt like, man, I'm getting in on something that's like still pretty low key, but we know it fucking works. Like it's almost like a secret that you're in on.
And then when fights hit the ground and you kind of knew what they were doing,
You're like,
oh, and then you're the friend at the party who's explain shit. But back in the day where you're the only friend,
the only guy,
nobody did
else.
jiu-jitsu.
nobody knows anybody, dude.
Yeah. Those are the I look back on, like when Tyson had his era. I was just a kid.
Yeah.
And I remember when Tyson was coming up, and my parents, who didn't have a pot to piss in, would order the pay-per-view. And everyone would show up. And I love combat since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I think my moment for Tyson was the Chuck Liddell, Tito, Randy Couture era. Like, brother, I was strapped to the TV.
Yeah.
Strapped.
Yeah.
Like that was my.
Couldn't get enough.
Do you remember there was fights after the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
And then you'd hear about them the next day. They wouldn't broadcast them.
Yeah.
You'd have to
Yeah.
wait.
That sucked.
They were the filler
Or the
fights.
UG would post them. The UG would post them in the board.
Yep. The underground.
Shout out Chris Palmquist.
Dude, you can't get on that message board anymore.
I know.
They sold the whole site to some other outfit, and they redid the app.
Yeah.
And you can't fucking get
The
there.
underground was everything, wasn't it?
Dude.
Bro, I was an old UG guy.
Listen, man. And I went to the other ground also, which is like the shit world of the underground, and I got hooked on it. It's just
I never went.
It was
Of course,
the best,
that's where
dude.
you slithered.
Oh, dude, it was the
wasteland.
best.
Oh, yeah.
But see, back then, Joe Rogan posted on there. Dana White posted on there.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
Fighters
fuck.
had accounts. They were on there
Yeah.
See,
communicating
this is what
with
I
people.
love, man. Again, I keep saying it's like having the ability to like have chatted and or rolled with like, I don't know, the equivalent of like Michael Jordan at the time. You get it now. Like all these guys are just super accessible.
I got a quick story about that. This is a fucking dope story. So I think I was a blue belt, maybe. Yeah, I was a blue belt for sure. So in Orlando, right? In Florida, 10 a.m. class, we're all sitting there.
Yeah.
All right. Glass doors, glass pull door. This figure, like Bigfoot, just goes right into the door. It's Gabriel Gonzaga
Oh, man.
showing up for 10 a.m. class. Why? I don't like Disneyland. His whole family had come up from wherever. He lives in Massachusetts, by the way. But his whole family had come up to go. He was, I don't go there. And he trained with us for 3 days on a whim. By the way, he was in the middle of his like run. He had just knocked out Mirko Krokop. And he was, I think he had just lost to Junior, what's his name? Dos Santos. Yeah, he just lost to him. So he's still like a perennial contender. And he rolled with us for 3 days. It was the first time I got to like hang out and kick it with like a real legit UFC heavyweight. Boy.
Holy shit.
I was like, I'm down, dude. I'm down. Like let's tie up. Like, I had nothing
into
for him.
it. Yeah.
I had nothing for him.
Just a
I was about
waste
to
of
say-
that man's time.
Oh, absolute waste.
What'd he do?
Yeah. It was me or Disneyland. But dude, it was like this moment where I go, oh shit, I can communicate this language of movement and submissions and whatever with this legitimate like champion level guy.
Yeah.
And like we all got pictures and whatever, and he left and we're all like
Holy shit.
and I'm sure you've had moments like that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
And you're but like I realized that like if you saw him walk down the street, no one would know who he was, but
Yeah.
that was my guy.
It was a secret.
It was a
Kinda
secret.
It's like, dude, you would watch. You could like this has
Yeah.
happened. You watch guys and they're on the UFC and you're like, I know that guy right there.
Yeah.
But your friends are like, okay.
Like
Yeah.
Corey Sandhagen. I used to train with him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Fucking A.
It's
Yeah.
wild, dude.
It's weird.
It's because it's like people saying, I used to play ball with Ty Cobb. You know what I
Right,
mean? It's
right.
I think we're in so early.
We are.
It's super early. It feels like like cutting edge, but it's
Right.
still really early in the development,
Oh yeah.
the professionalization of jiu-jitsu. And I think obviously the smartphones
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there was no
Technology,
YouTube.
the internet.
No.
Yeah.
When I started
Instructionals were passed around a cassette.
on
Oh,
DVD.
really?
They
Yeah.
were on-
DVD. Oh yeah.
or even VHS tapes.
Right.
I have a Tony Cicchini catch wrestling,
Yeah.
3 volumes of him
Yeah.
just fucking people
I have
up.
all Paulson's all
would-
Paulson's old stuff.
He was so mean to his ukes.
That was the
really?
thing.
Oh, dude.
That was the thing.
The whole time the guy's just going, tap, That's
Fucking
we
A.
watched it for that.
Yeah.
It was so damn funny
Yeah.
to watch this dude just get cranked on,
Yeah.
man, the whole
That's
time.
where you get it from.
We passed around tapes. We found the UFC because a guy who turned out to be a good friend of mine in the jiu-jitsu world, Dave Lozen, he owns Dark Wolf MMA, Dark Wolf Martial Arts, and near Orlando, right in that area.
Okay.
He was out in Stockton. He lived out there. He was training jiu-jitsu, and he was like a martial arts head, dude.
Yeah.
He was into it.
All of it.
And he was talking to my cousin. They worked at Office Depot, Big MF. He was talking to Matt,
Oh shit.
and they met outside. He goes, listen, this is how like illicit he thought it was. He's like, I want to talk to you out in the parking lot. So they go outside,
It's a secret.
and he hands him a paper bag with a cassette in it, and he tells him, you got to watch this. And Matt's like, it's just like,
Was that Gracie
like,
in
Just
action?
like Ass Worship 3, like,
Yeah.
what, you know what I mean? Like, what is this? You know, it was UFC 2,
Yeah.
and he.
Holy
So
shit.
Matt brought it home. We fucking Pilgrim Street, his house in the hood. We popped it in the VHS, and we're like, what
Dude.
is this, dude?
Holy
And
shit.
I hated Hoist Gracie.
Yeah.
I hated
Oh,
jujitsu.
really?
I thought jujitsu was lame.
Mhm.
I thought it was a work.
Tell
I
him
thought
about the
that-
ropes.
I thought he was cheating,
Yeah.
and I thought he had a rope in his sleeve that he was using to choke.
Really?
And he was super good with the sleight
like
of hand.
hiding it.
What happened was we had come across this dude whose name was his name is Frank Galdo, and he was a bounty hunter, and he was a martial artist, and he kind of ruined us a little bit on the UFC. He said, "Listen, the Gracies purposely have people in their fighting things that they know they're going to beat. They don't let people in who are like actual grapplers and actual real high level guys."
Yeah.
Right.
So after we watched it, it was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I think he's faking it. Like, I
Yeah.
couldn't understand how he beat Chemo, or how he
Sure.
beat Ken Shamrock or just nullified him. You know, it was like, what the hell's going on? I just wasn't a fan of it, but I liked the UFC.
Yeah.
I thought the UFC was freaking amazing,
Yeah.
but it was so hard to find.
It was.
They didn't even carry the pay-per-views very often, to be honest. Like, especially
Well,
in the dark days.
Hawood was
no-
telling me that you would go rent a tape at like a video
Yeah.
rental
The
place.
UFCs.
Yeah, the UFCs.
That's how I saw him.
Okay.
At movie gallery.
Yeah, yeah.
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 They'd be
Rented
like
'em.
back in the corner somewhere,
100%.
like
With faces of death.
yeah, yeah,
100%.
that's what he was saying. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah.
Dude.
And you catch the pay-per-view like 3 weeks later,
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because I mean, it wasn't on like if you had Time Warner cable and not Comcast shit. It was only on Time Warner.
You couldn't find it.
Couldn't find it.
Sucks to suck.
So you get it a little bit later. But dude, we worshipped them.
We did.
Like I want to say worship them. Like I remember one guy in my old gym got the Marcelo DVD set. He paid like $250 for it, which was like a lot of money back then.
Dude.
Yeah.
And we sat down with that thing on a little TV and just do back and forth. I think it was a PlayStation actually that played DVDs.
Yeah? You were just,
And we were like going back and forth, back and forth. How did he do that? Okay, the hands, because at the time his accent was brutal.
right.
Yeah.
And we're just figuring it out.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's why I think kids these days are so good, because they'll see a million
There's so
Instagrams
much.
and YouTube.
Yeah.
We had no access to any of that.
Now, YouTube,
They're eating.
Yeah.
They're eating.
Yeah, they're eating.
they're eating all
Yeah.
day. I don't know, and the algorithm just feeds them.
100%.
I think I started in 2005. I think YouTube was around then, but I think YouTube had a restriction of 3 minutes. That was the video length,
Something like that.
and
Yeah.
They
nobody
break
was
it up into 30 videos. Though.
uploading like
You can see a lot of part 28 out of 30.
jiu-jitsu videos. Just didn't exist.
There wasn't well because they're coveted too.
Yeah,
Like if you had it, that was a secret,
it was a secret.
and you're not gonna. Yeah.
People didn't share moves.
No,
You didn't cross train as much either.
absolutely
It
not.
wasn't the same, man.
Yeah, you said cross training back then. Most coaches
frowned on.
It was
Big time.
not a good thing.
I was like one of the first people to step out of my gym and go to another gym because all the bouncers downtown were from another gym,
Yeah.
a rival gym. I became friends with them. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go over there, and I did really well. Like I did really
Yeah.
well. I was like happy for myself, but they're like, dude, nope, nobody from your gym comes over here. I'm like, what, really? And then I realized that was like my like shock moment. I was
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
damn,
You're a traitor.
a little bit, but also it's just a different time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's impossible to describe.
It was a different kind of person who did it also. And
Yeah.
they were more, I think, of a rougher crowd. Just a rougher individual was attracted to it.
Did you get guys off the street that were fighters? Like a lot of them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude.
Tough guys.
Oh my God.
I got in a lot of scratch. Some of them were tough,
Sign
and
the
some
waiver.
of them were nuts.
Yeah.
But some of them, there was a couple guys that were pretty fucking tough. It's like,
Oh, really?
Damn, dude. Just wild hillbilly dudes.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
just crazy people.
Love it.
But
Jeez.
yeah, most people were just not up to speed.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it was not. There was no real like foundation for martial arts or mixed martial arts or anything
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, I guess the people who would. I mean, maybe if you were some martial arts like karate geek,
Yeah.
maybe you got into it. But otherwise,
Do you ever think about like, okay, so it's like 1978, 1976, who cares? And you're like, yeah, dude, I went to fucking China. I learned Kung Fu
I
from
know,
a
dude.
master.
Yeah.
And but
It's a big
how
deal.
and he comes back with all this shit.
Yeah.
I learned it. What? It. And you're like, teach me.
Yeah.
It's $1,000 an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like
And you're gonna call me sensei.
100%.
Yeah.
And I would
and
make
I
it.
will. Yeah. I know. I'm looking for a sensei
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. But like think about that. Like, and then there's no way to disprove this guy. He's got the shit. He brought the fucking whatever back.
Yeah.
He's got all the things, the swords. His house is ridiculous. He's got a ponytail, of course.
Yeah.
And,
That's the
and
rule.
but there's those guys who did that and came back with arguably nothing, but they made
Yeah,
millions.
they did, man.
Yeah.
Karate's still around too.
Still big.
But
Well, there's real karate too.
dude, there's
It's
hard
shit
style
like Kyokushin.
karates.
It's
Yeah.
like, don't fuck with them dudes.
Yeah.
For sure. And Taekwondo's connected to the Olympics,
Yeah.
you know. But I will say, I felt like in the 80s, karate was huge. I mean, it was huge.
Think about the
man.
movies, though. You just got out of Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris is
Chuck.
whipping everyone's
Fucking
ass.
He had a
Norris.
ton of movies.
Steven Seagal slapboxing everyone.
Yeah.
And then Karate,
Karate
Kid comes
Kid.
out. That's
Oh
what I was just
my
to say.
God.
Karate
Seal
Kid
the
changed my
deal.
life. 3 Ninjas also.
We just talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Beverly Hills Ninja was
Beverly Hills
also
Ninja.
very good.
Yeah. But it's like, and like, it's like this like mystique and stuff. And I think jiu-jitsu kind of like ruined the mystique of like, oh, if I get you to the
Yeah.
ground, you're fucked.
What hooked me into a lot of that when I was a kid was anything with the word samurai in the title or Shaolin.
Yeah.
Anything
I gotcha.
Shaolin, I'm in.
Or like I was obsessed with like ninjas.
I love ninjas
Like
too.
what,
yeah.
a ninja to me was like an elite level guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
he was
for
a higher
sure.
level.
Yeah,
up.
he was like
He's the only thing
samurai.
that could kill a samurai.
Yeah.
I'm like-
Yeah.
He was like he was samurai Delta Force.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I never questioned any of it.
No. Nothing.
I purely believe like these
I still
dudes
kinda
could
do.
jump up in trees and do all kinds of wild shit.
100%.
Yeah, John Wick's real.
Yeah, the foot.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
The foot.
Yeah.
I'm a Ninja Turtle kid. Like that's my
Yeah.
era. I wanted to be in the
Oh,
foot.
Ninja
so
Turtles
bad.
is another perfect
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And let's just like walk that all back real quick. Turtles in the sewer trained by a rat. Who's
yeah.
arguably the most racist rat on the
I
fucking
know.
planet. and he's going to teach a bunch of turtles.
Yeah.
And they each have their own weapon. Sick.
And they had personalities.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
And they
And
had-
Raphael was 100% banging April.
Rewatch
Rewatch the
No
movies.
question.
Yeah.
Rewatch the movies.
question.
He's throwing shade in her direction, and she's taking all of it.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear this is way off topic, but you want to hear the most nerdy, I'm not a huge Marvel guy or
Yeah.
superhero guy. The most nerdy fun fact I know, the acid or whatever it was, the chemical that poured into the sewer that made the turtles, was the same stuff that blinded Daredevil.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh,
That's pretty cool.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. Kurt I think on YouTube said, I feel like being a member of a no-gi gym is like joining a gang, and open mats and branded rash guards is like repping the set. I fucking love it.
And
Yeah.
we jump you in every class.
I hope that's our Kurt.
I gotta tell you, like, you know, I trained in the gi for 11, 12 years pretty consistently, like pretty
Really?
a long time. Somewhere around brown belt, a buddy of mine, Carl Sims up in Utah, was doing the Proving Grounds Invitational.
Yeah.
And he asked me to do a match on there, which I got destroyed, by the way. I was supposed to go up against a dude that was my age. I think I was 39 or 40.
And then Carl comes, look, Tim, here's the deal.
Yeah. No, I was 38. I was 38. And he picks me up from the airport, and we're supposed to go weigh in. And he's like, hey, you don't got to weigh in, brother. It's fine. And I'm like,
Oh, he big.
what? Well, he wasn't big, but I'll tell you who he was. So I'm like, I don't got to weigh in. I'm like, no, for real, man. I made weight. And he's like, oh, I believe you.
It's not necessary.
I believe
Anymore.
you. And I'm like, no, for real. I'm on weight, dude. And he's like, no, I know you are. He's all, listen, your opponent pulled out, and we got you a new guy. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, who is it? And he's like, oh, he's just a young guy. He's not like, you know, super like.
It's Wes Sims.
His nickname is Corellin.
I'm like, okay. So he turns out to be Hanato Canuto fought on that card too his first time.
Oh, no kidding.
And like flying arm bars, Bill Cooper, who Bill
Oh,
Cooper
Bill
back
Cooper
in
was
the
the
day
man.
was
Yeah.
an OG West Coast
Yeah.
super legend guy,
Yeah.
no-gi guy, repping
Of
no-gi
course.
hard,
Of course.
flying arm bars him. His buddy, his main training partner, was the guy I had to do a match with, who smoked my ass immediately. He was on my back in like
Yeah.
seconds flat, dude. I'm like, fuck. I remember trying to defend the choke, and there was like spectators were just right up on the mat, and there was a little kid sitting crisscross applesauce like this, like a foot away from me, just looking at me like this, just looking,
You
man.
bitch.
I'm just like, I know.
Really glad I took a flight here.
Yeah, but okay, so that's when I started training no-gi, and I really liked it. I was always intrigued by Eddie Bravo. There was so much hate for Eddie Bravo. It just made me extra interested in it. I'm like, who is this dude? Why is there so much shit being talked about him? Like, what's the deal? And every experience I had with him was good. I'm
Yeah.
like, why do people not like these guys? I don't get it.
I've found that when most people seem like they hate something, there's probably something pretty cool about it,
Yeah.
at least a little bit.
10th Planet was a fringe organization.
It was.
in my opinion.
No, I remember when it
was
started up.
very fringe, dude.
I remember when
Yeah.
it started up we were in Florida, and obviously some of the rubber guard stuff was starting to come out. He had a book first.
Yeah.
Um,
The one with Joe Rogan?
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I have it.
Jiu-Jitsu Unleashed.
Yeah, I have it. And I just skimmed it. I never really could
Yeah.
figure it out from like
I
I'm
had
a
him
video guy.
sign mine when he came out. I'm
No
like, yeah, I'm like, you
way.
gotta sign it, dog.
But it was like this thing, and people would it was like Mecca. You make a pilgrimage. I was actually, and this I don't want to get into this at all, but I was equating it to like how Souder or Soder is now.
Yeah.
Like it's like people are like making pilgrimages out to go see Eddie. Like, what's this new thing? They're
Yeah.
forgetting about the rubber guard. Forgetting about he has a system. And I think that was the one thing, though. It's a system.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, it works for him and it works for his guys and it's sick. But now he's got, 10th Planet is so big.
It's so mainstream.
I told you I went to 10th Planet Dublin. Shout out 10th Planet Dublin.
Oh,
Hey.
hell
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Bro,
Nice.
so fucking cool. It's on the top. There's like a normal like kickboxing and weightlifting gym. It's in like the attic of it.
Oh,
And
shit.
but it's sick. And the guys there are like the nicest guys ever.
That's
and I
cool.
came in reeking of whiskey. I had drank all night the night
As long as it's
before.
I'm sure
Irish
they're
whiskey.
used to it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I came in and they could not have been cooler, nice. And that was like the one thing is as a no-gi guy, that's not a 10th Planet guy, which is rare.
Yeah.
Everywhere I travel, I just look up 10th Planet gyms.
There you go.
My experience, I haven't been to all of them, but they're all pretty damn cool, though.
Yeah.
Pretty open. I think now a lot of 10Ps have let their guard down as a team. It's no longer like we got a chip on our shoulder because nobody likes us. It's not like that. And
No.
there's a lot of love for 10th Planet.
No.
So there's a lot of openness. Like, yeah, you want to come train? You come
Hell
through,
yeah.
man. Let's train. Like, sounds
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely a big part of jiu-jitsu culture. But yeah, man, I love no-gi jiu-jitsu.
It's the best.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. It's also less injury prone.
Totally. It's such a damn lie when they tell older guys, oh, you should train in the gi because you could slow the game up. Oh, yeah. Good luck, man.
Think about
You're
it this
gonna
way.
get jacked, dude.
If I pin your clothes, arguably thicker than your clothes, down, and then you twist inside of that, you weren't supposed to move.
yeah,
And now you twisted inside of that, forcing something that should not have happened.
absolutely.
That's not going to happen with an underhook or an overhook or a butterfly. And it's also, I think there's something about the speed of it can be very fast. I thrive on slowing people down, and I'll slow people down to a manageable pace, and that is so hard to do. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's just so real.
You're so
Yeah.
fucking good at that with that crossface.
Oh,
God
It's my
damn.
love language, bro.
God damn.
I think it's like the gi will slow a position down. You know, like it'll like somebody
Yeah.
will grab it, and now you're in a 20-second fight to get
Yeah.
this grip off. Where it's no gi is just like it's just moving.
I can appreciate the gi as its own sport.
yeah,
I really can. Like, and I think there's some pageantry behind it as well. I think that harkens back to what I was saying before. This guy who went to China and came back with something. There's people who like legitimately like they put on the kimono. They feel cool.
yeah.
They get that sense of
It does.
warriorship.
It feels good.
It feels-
you put your fucking belt on.
yeah,
Pop it.
but there's a pageantry.
yeah.
This sounds dumb, but I get that same pageantry out of a matching rash guard set. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I look good as hell, dude.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's
Yeah.
like something about like I don't know, man. Like I don't know.
no-gi's more like you wear your shit, but
Yeah.
some schools are strict. I don't like that.
No, we'll never have a
No.
uniform.
I don't want to
policy.
see everybody with.
No pockets. That's my
This-
only rule.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I understand rules like that, but I mean, like you got to have our rash guard on and our shorts, and it's got to be this.
That's
color.
insecurity.
It's
Print
insane.
cooler shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know us.
yeah.
Y'all are wild.
We're always
That-
printing shit.
That's what's so fun about no-gi jiu-jitsu is you get to wear your own cool shit.
Yeah.
That's the cool part of it.
And
Yeah.
like the rash guards are so like
They're all,
unique
and then when someone gets a cool one, you're like, oh, dude, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
sick.
I had a cat come in the other day, and I was like touching up on him. I'm like, what
Yeah.
is this?
Get this. Who made it?
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think there's the same thing with the gi, right?
there is.
Is there?
Yeah, they have single weave and double weave, and I believe me, I have
Yeah.
8 gis in my closet that
Okay.
is rotting.
But are there like gis that are like the color pattern is
Yeah.
like camo or
Yeah.
whatever?
They
Oh, really?
have them, but you
Some
I've
can't,
only ever
schools-
seen
some
the
schools
white,
won't let 'em,
black, and
though.
blue.
a lot of schools won't let it. The
Yeah.
traditional
Oh,
schools won't
really?
let you,
No, they
and you
won't let
can't
you.
compete in them. Most
Yeah.
of the
Really?
tournaments, you got to have
then
white,
there's-
black, or blue.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's
all
some
I've ever
schools
seen.
Within the school, there's rules for like this subsection of students are only allowed to do white. You can do like
Yeah, some
blue for
schools
this
are like
rule, and
that.
then you can do a
Yeah.
black gi for this rule.
Oh shit!
Also,
That dude.
it's also for me like I like to see people's personalities in the rash
Yes,
guards
dude.
and stuff. Like it's
Yeah.
cool. Like there's long sleeve guys, there's short
Yeah.
sleeve guys. I'm a short sleeve guy.
What about t-shirt guys?
We got a few of them.
Yeah,
We got a few of
That's
them
old
t-shirt
school.
guys.
That's how you used to do it.
I used to be a t-shirt guy.
Yeah, dude.
I was a hardcore t-shirt.
was-
guy. Majid Haig.
It was board shorts and
Yeah.
t-shirts.
Yeah, of course.
And if you had a rash guard, it was a surfing rash guard.
Oh,
and they
for
had the little mock necks on them that went
yeah.
up a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't comfy at all.
No.
It sucked.
No.
Kind of like constricting. But
Being in Florida, we had a few guys that rolled like that.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, I remember when one of our schools put out like our first rash guard. Like, how did you get this?
Yeah.
How did you?
Who do you
blah, blah.
know?
Yeah, exactly. Now it's so easy, and if you have an Instagram, you get 100. You get hit up by 1,000
Dear
people in
sirs.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
Thank you, Broken Anvils.
just like show your roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gear side definitely is a pretty cool thing about no-gi jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what, man? We're going up on 2 hours. It's been
Yeah.
freaking-
Holy shit.
I think we have to do this again.
It's flown by.
Yeah. Let's do it, dude. I'm up every time.
I think
great time.
it's gone
Lot
so
of fun.
We didn't get I was like, when we were planning the segments, I was like, man, if we start talking, dude, I don't know.
It's always good. It's always good to have them in the back pocket.
Yeah.
Clay, how can people find out about you, man?
Just Broken Anvil Jiu-Jitsu. It's not about Clay Haywood. It's about the brand. It's
Right
about
on,
my
nice.
gym. So just join the gym if you're in the Nashville area. Drop down for an open mat Friday at 5, or show up for a class if you're traveling. And just grateful for our 10th Planet brothers and sisters and everything no-gi in Nashville, man.
We have a good thing going.
We love
We
you
do.
guys.
We love you guys
having
too.
I feel like there's like a good thing between us, One Nation,
Hell yeah.
Broken Anvil,
Yeah. Perfectus has been rad lately.
Perfectus.
Yeah. We got a great scene. Legion's been good. I mean, everyone,
The Triangle guys come in here a lot. and
Triangle
train.
guys are dope. It's, Henzo guys
Henzo
also.
guys.
We're breaking down the walls that I think a lot of cities don't do. I think the next step, and I was actually just thinking about this out loud, is we should start invading like, hey, let's not do this let's do this competition. So we actually have people. There's nothing worse than you show up and somebody's alone.
Like, what if, I don't know if guys
like
would do
that.
this because schools, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's repping their thing. But, man, it just put together like a super team just for like one tournament. And be like,
I'll talk to you off camera
this is
about
like,
that.
this is like,
We got something going.
yeah,
That's
super
sick.
team, Tennessee. And we're just like, let's
Yeah.
fucking get it. Just to rep Tennessee,
I'll,
man.
I'll talk to you off camera
Yeah,
about that. We got
let's
something
do it.
going on.
Sick.
Awesome. Check out Broken Anvil Jiu-Jitsu. What else do we got going on? Make sure you check out Salt Electrolytes. If you use the discount code inside BJJ15, you save 15%. They also are coming on as a sponsor for the bullpen for CJJ or CJI ADCC weekend. So pretty stoked about that.
They make good shit. Try the mango.
The mango's good.
That's my favorite.
I'm still hooked on lemon lime.
I love the mango.
I'll give you a
dude.
couple on your way out
Fuck
to try.
yeah.
They're
I'll boof them.
they're
We don't recommend booty shooting the salt, but it still works.
No, they've been real great to work with, man. So
Hell yeah.
super
And they're
stoked for those
jiu-jitsu guys as well.
Oh,
guys.
sick.
Yeah, 100%. Also, man, I'm kicking off the Patreon site. If you go to patreon.com/InsideBJJ, we're throwing out a bunch of bonus content. So,
Nice.
this is always going to be this. Like, the audio version is always going to be free, and the stream will be free, of course, 100%. But all the stuff we do before and after the show that gets captured, the things that I'm capturing on the side, all that extra stuff is going out there.
And you've got some big plans for throwing some really cool stuff on there coming up.
Yeah. So check that out in patreon.com/InsideBJJ. Yeah, man. I'm stoked, dude. Going to Las Vegas next weekend.
Yeah, I'll see you there.
You
Gonna
lucky
fucking do it,
bastards.
man.
So jealous.
God damn.
I can't wait.
So jealous.
I think I'm gonna be working like hardcore.
Yeah.
Still jealous.
If it's anything like PGF was intense because it was 5 days.
Yeah.
This will be 3 days, but it's
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Clay, are you catching ADCC out there as well? or-
I'm gonna leave it open ended. It's
Okay.
to see how I feel on Sunday. I love roulette. And to be honest, it sounds so cheesy because I want to make a joke or anything like that. I can't wait to hang out with my team in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, I really can't wait. There's like 15 of us going. I just can't wait to have a
fuck
great
yeah.
time. If a great time leads to us checking it out,
Yeah.
or we'll set a few iPads up by the pool and
Just-
I'll get it, housed, and
Freaking
we'll do
delete.
that and do some backflips in the
Yeah.
pool and I'll go play some
Nice.
roulette. Like, I want to keep it as cool as possible.
Yeah.
But I'm there. I want to watch someone win $1 million.
Yeah.
I want to see
Because
the look on their face.
we know that with these, we mostly know most of these guys in one
Yeah.
capacity or another.
Yeah.
And we know that one of them is going to have a life-changing event, like majorly life-changing event. And Egg says, get ready for more sprinting to him, but it's worth it's with the bros, so it'll be awesome. It is a good time, man. It really is.
Yeah.
I promise not to wrist lock all the white belts.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man. You want to take us out, bro?
Yeah, love to. Thank you guys as always for checking us out. Appreciate you. Check us out on Spotify and iTunes. Leave us a good review, please. Helps with the algorithm. Only ask because that's the truth. It sucks. Remember to check out Salt. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you all.